It is now time once again to let the women take center stage as they show us not only the progression, not only the development, not only the presentation that focuses strictly on women, but this is WWE's Evolution. Welcome to the pre show discussion. Hello, everybody, and welcome back here once again to the Super Reliable Studios, and welcome back to the sixth straight day of me streaming with predictions, shenanigans, reviews, and watch-alongs. As we cover tonight, the all-women showcase for WWE Evolution. I am, of course, the simple man of the simple brand, the voice of the Super Reliable Studios, forever grateful for professional wrestling, and an advocate for women's professional wrestling. Damn it! And my name is Noah Foster. I hope you enjoy the pre-show conversation, discussion, hype, as well as the overall coverage. Of course, I will not be alone in this tonight. I will have our wonderful Canadian friend Ash along for the ride. So if you haven't already, don't be a dickhead. Subscribe to Barry for the rest of the day. She'll be joining me shortly. But I figured this would be a great way for us to get into the show with a nice amount of time and hype of everything that is to follow. So why don't we go ahead and talk about real quick what is to come tonight? We, of course, know we have a no-holds-barred match between Jade, Cargill, and Naomi, where the EST of WWE will be the special guest referee. Regardless of the result, Jade Cargill, of course, has a WWE Women's Championship match waiting for her at SummerSlam, but Naomi is Miss Money in the Bank. Proceed with caution. According to my friends who have followed news, they gave me breaking news. It appears that the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship Triple Threat will be kicking off the show tonight as Becky Lynch defends the title against Bayley and the former inaugural champion, Lyra Valkyria. Is it Tiffy time or is it Trishy time? Either way, let's say thank you, Trish, as she celebrates 25 years. Trish Stratus, of course, will be going one-on-one with Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship, looking to win a championship for the first time ever in front of her children. Can the GOAT of all time beat one of the best going today? We will soon find out. With Slammiversary implications on the line regarding next weekend, Jessie Jane defends the NXT Women's Championship against Jordynne Grace, the juggernaut and former unstoppable TNA Knockouts World Champion, where, of course, the winner will go on to Slammiversary face Monster Slavitz for the TNA Knockouts World title, and winner takes all. And, of course, Jordynne Grace goes in here with momentum, considering her and Blake Monroe did beat Fatal Influence, but it was the Glamour that got the win on Found Henry. Jessie Jane, Jordynne Grace, unaffected, I would think, by that tag team situation. And speaking of tag team situations, of course, we have a fatal four-way for the women's tag team championships. Kabuki Warriors reunited Asuka, Kairi Sane taking on Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, taking on NXT Soruka, who is still the NXT Women's North American champion, and her partner Zarya. Of course, Judgment Day now being represented by Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Defend the gold is first pinfall submission, leads with the title. It is not elimination. And of course, champions not to be involved under those circumstances in the decision. Thinking about what's ahead in WWE beyond the biggest part of the summer, there's championship opportunities waiting in Clash of Paris for all the women here in this Battle Royale, where the winner will earn a championship match at Clash in Paris in France. And of course, this all culminates, I believe, with the Women's World Championship as the Genius of the Sky, Io Sky, defends the title against Mommy, Rhea Ripley, and she asked for this. Will Io Sky suffer her own downfall, and will Mommy once again be on top, or can Io continue to prove that against Rhea Ripley, she is unstoppable as the WWE Women's Championship is on the line? And that, of course, is everything that's ahead tonight. And there's all women's presentation of respect, progression, development, and celebration for all things women's professional wrestling and WWE, damn it. That is their evolution. So I hope that you all definitely enjoy the watch along and the discussion. So, Fed, it's also great to see you here, of course, and I appreciate you always tuning in. Kate Rare, Wesley Conklin, Matthew Hollister, and shout out to the over 40 of you that put in your predictions in the WWE PLE Predictions League. As you all know now, those predictions are final. There is no changing. There is no turning back. You live by the sword, die by the sword, by what you pick. So good luck to all 57 of you that have submitted your predictions in tonight, in and out of Team No DQ. Let's just go ahead and get some of your thoughts here real quick. Wesley, do you know that Tessa Blanchard wrestled NXT in the Spring of Summer 2016? Yes, I did for a short stint, which, of course, she was part of the Mae Young Classic. Of course, the unstoppable, undeniable diamond of TNA, the Buzzsaw. She will be, of course, taking on Indy Hartwell next week at its anniversary in TNA. Matthew saying that he wished that Io and Rhea had more time to cook. Io should have more title defenses. I agree. It's her first title defense since WrestleMania, where she gave one of the best women's championship matches this year in WWE. And it is kind of one of those things where you could look at the long-term history of their respect and their rivalry with the fact that Mommy Rhea Ripley has yet to beat Io. But I still think this is one of those happy circumstances where Io's like, I want to face you. I wish they kind of put more into it. But again, it is what it is. As of course, WWE Evolution comes to us from, I believe, Atlantic City, as I see a great skyline here before me. One of the craziest cities with a crazy airport, I believe, too. Are we going to see the Devil's Kiss tonight? It wouldn't surprise me, Safek, considering that Stephanie Vaquer, along with a plethora of other women, are in that battle royale. So I definitely think that you could be onto something. And Kate Rare here, once again, responding to Wesley this time. I knew that. She joined TNA a while later to win. That is correct. Of course, the TNA Knockouts World Championship and the TNA World Championship. The only Knockouts to ever do that, and that was against Sami Callihan, as she looked to be the champion going into basically the pandemic, and things fell to the wayside. Title was vacated. You all could fill in the rest of the history. And Blake Monroe will be in Jordan Grace's corner. I can see that, Christy Lecure. But it's one of those things that NXT is trying to push her as a baby face so hard. I think it could be both Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe's downfall. For anyone that knows the glamour like I do, Mariah maybe before AEW, she is so much better politically as a heel. And while I'm glad she got the win her NXT in-ring debut, her and Jordan Grace as a tag team, I don't think needs to be a focus in WWE. But I do think that Blake Monroe costing Jordan Grace a huge opportunity, either here or if Jordan Grace wins that Slammiversary, would be very unique storytelling, especially with the rumor has it WWE draft coming up in the fall season. And DJ Mud King, good to see you in the chat. He's saying, Paige versus Rhea for Clash in Paris seems like what's best for business, don't you think? Well, considering Paige was not a diva and did things her own way, was the inaugural NXT Women's Champion, if you're not going to get AJ Lee, I think Paige in Paris would be very unique. Of course, Paige now does her Rule Breaker podcast, and she did tease. And I think that both Paige and Rhea Ripley, honestly, you can put those two together as a tag team or even as a all-girls band, if we're being perfectly honest. And I would love to see that. But why don't we go ahead and talk a little bit more about the Battle Royal? Because as we know, there are a ton of known participants. We, of course, know we have the Fridge, Nia Jax. We have 6 representations from NXT, including not limited to Jada Parker, Lola Vice, Kelani Jordan. We also, of course, have representation, including what you all were talking about earlier with Stephanie Vaquer, as well as, who else is in this thing? It's a who's who of women named. Oh, yeah, Nikki Bella. And I feel like Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer are at the forefront right now on everybody's mindset as far as who should win this and get a chance at Clash in Paris. I still hold out for Chelsea Green on the SmackDown side of things because I want to see Chelsea Green versus Tiffany Stratton or Chelsea Green versus Trish Stratus. Imagine 2 incredible Canadians fighting with the women's championship in the fashion capital of the world, both fashionistas in their own right. It's just some food for thought. And again, we don't necessarily know the entire field. I do know there was an updated graphic, but you all know that doesn't mean Jack Dilly in WWE. There could be a legend spot. There could be somebody from Evolve. There could be other names that might not even make it. That might have to fill in those other spots. What I do know is there's close to 18 women plus in this over-the-top rope battle royale. So we'll see who punched their ticket towards maybe a first time or reoccurring championship opportunity in Clash in Paris. So let your opinions, let your predictions, let your thoughts be known. Who you think deserves a chance at one of the women's world titles? Keyword women's world titles tonight, as of course both women's world championships are on the line. I can't believe I'm still talking. All right. Well, that being said, let's go ahead and move away from there. As I, of course, see right now, they are previewing the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship scene. Of course, the prodigy, Roxanne Perez, who came into Monday Night Raw like a ball of fire. she had her fair share of run-ins with Rhea Ripley. She's been on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and of course now part of the Judgment Day. And with Liv Morgan out indefinitely due to injury, get well soon, her and Raquel Rodriguez now come in representing the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Of course, the Kabuki Warriors reunited when Asuka came to Kairi Sane's aid to fend off Judgment Day. And of course, Kabuki Warriors are former WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. With that insane elbow reverse DT combo to Roxanne Perez, there's a very real chance Kabuki Warriors could leave tonight once again the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Of course, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, a team out of happenstance, both are former WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And they also are the only team to earn this opportunity tonight, while the rest were basically named. It's also one of those things where you look at Zarya, Soruka, or as most people I believe are calling it, Saruka. We've seen, of course, their effective chemistry since joining together in NXT, going for bat for one another with wins over the likes of the Secret Harvest, Chelsea Green, and of course, Saruka snatching the former WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, as well as Izzi Dame last night. Saruka and Zarya might be the strongest women's tag team going on today in the WWE. We, of course, saw the Fatal 4-Way preview, which is these individuals, on Friday Night SmackDown. So I do think it would be cool to see new women's WWE Tag Team Champions, but the fact that Roxanne Perez is coming here representing Liv Morgan, I don't think they would have just done that just to get the titles away from Judgment Day, where Finn Balor becoming the multi-person belt collector. So I do think Judgment Day is going to retain. Now it comes down to who eats the decision and how it affects the future. Again, do you see NXT being more involved here in the Women's Tag Team Championship picture? I don't. If I'm being honest, I think the Kabuki Warriors are going to eat the fall, and I think Kairi Sane is going to be the fall person. Let's go ahead and see what you all have to say real quick regarding this. Christopher Vaquer with a thought. Roxanne Perez has 20 losses in 2025. Well, Christopher, you're not wrong, but as we know, it is not about wins and losses in WWE. It's about opportunity. And you can't argue that outside the prodigy, very few women have had the chance and capitalized on the capabilities of opportunity in WWE. Speaking of women's wrestling, the legacy of women's wrestling goes all the way back to the holder of the Burke, Mildred Burke, of course, Alundra Blaze and her feuds with Bull Nakano. I think about, of course, Jacqueline, Jazz, Victoria, Candice Michelle, Stacy Keibler, Tori Wilson, how WWE has transcended from an idealism of divas to women's professional wrestlers. It's definitely a beautiful thing to see. So, as an advocate of women's wrestling, I'm looking very forward to seeing the women show up, square up, gear up, and tell the men to shut up. But again, that's just my opinion. Let's see what y'all guys say also about this real quick. Charlotte and Alexa is such an odd pairing. I feel like they are trying too hard to make her a babyface. Well, it is one of those things, Matthew, where people want Charlotte Flair away from the World Championship picture. This is a nice way of doing it. And I do think that Charlotte Flair wants this babyface run because time has not been on her side, and she's been through a lot of mental and physical warfare. And we saw what happened when she took on Timothy Stratton at WrestleMania. It was not her best performance. In a tag team, she's protected from those little insecurities. And we all know Charlotte Flair can be very insecure at times. And I do think Alexa Bliss, bringing Charlotte Flair into this scene, is a unique dynamic, even though Wyatt 6 would be the way I would go, in my opinion. And we'll see whether or not this leads to a fallout with the two, or they continue forward as a duo. But yeah, it's still weird to me that they're also the only team to qualify in this as well. As we look back at some historic highlights here of WWE Evolution, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, of course, their rivalry transcended from Survivor Series into this stage when it was last woman standing, while Becky Lynch proved she was the man back then in 2018. We'll see if the man still stays on top, holding the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. We'll talk about that here more shortly. Safet, you're not wrong. I'm still speaking, but again, we will, of course, see what happens here, and if my voice will carry on. And stay tuned for me being part of the NotiQ review this Tuesday, too, led by the moderator, Colin Andrew. Appreciate you, my brother. Get some prime cuts. Cape Rare, be surprised to see Alexa and Charlotte win. Well, it does seem like the biggest downfall to the Queen is that you can't seem to book her without being involved in a championship scene. Refreshing. But again, I don't think Charlotte Flair needs another championship. I really don't. I don't think she needs a singles or a tag title. So with all due respect to Alexa Bliss, I don't want to see SmackDown getting the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. It's not the Secret Harvest. So that's just my opinion. Kate Breyer, Soruga holds 2 belts, correct? Yes, that is correct. She is the NXT Women's North American Champion and the WWE Speed Champion for all that is worth. She honestly is one of the most, I think, effective and positive win streak this year, not only in NXT, but I think for women in WWE. Matthew with a Fox here real quick. I see Soul and Saria eating the pin, and they really seem to want to push the babyface version of the Live Revenge Tour, so Raquel and Roxanne have to retain. Yeah, it does feel like a tale of opposite, polarization where Liv Morgan goes from the Revenge Tour, karma, a victory of her own sins, shoulder injury, shares of what she did to Mommy last year. I could definitely see this turning to Liv Morgan being a babyface. Liv Morgan was Roxanne Perez, Raquel and Roxanne taking on Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Let's not forget, one time ago, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley were the best of friends. They also were WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. So, again, a full circle, if you will. And we'll see what happens. And Christopher McLaren saying, I got the Judgment Day retaining. Yeah, I do too. It's just the story right now of the women's tag team titles right now. You can't go against it. What else do they do with the tag titles if Judgment Day loses them? Just saying. DJ Maxxine saying, Iconics get out of Kabuki Warriors eat the pin, Judgment Day retains, but Asuka turns heel. I like the idea of the Iconics being added to this, being former WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, winning them back at WrestleMania 35. Of course, we know the Iconics will be involved at some anniversary, challenging the Elegance brand to regain the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. But I think they're going to focus more on that. I don't see the Iconics showing up tonight. That would pop me huge, though, if that did happen. All right. Well, great talk, everybody, regarding the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Let's go ahead and move away from that bit of conversation to what we just saw on our screen and talk about the man, Becky Lynch, and the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, a title that's not even 1 year old yet in history. Of course, Becky, Lyra go all the way back to NXT Halloween Havoc 2 years ago, of course, when Lyra beat Becky Lynch for the NXT Women's Championship. And of course, Bayley and Becky go all the way back to the Black and Gold NXT. We, of course, also saw Bayley and Lyra form a unique tag team chemistry. But ever since then, there's been incredible fallout with Lyra having a brand new attitude where it's all about her proving that she's better than these two gatekeepers of the women's division. Of course, Lyra did lose to Becky Lynch at Backlash, where Becky did retain the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, gain the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. We were supposed to have another contenders match, but ended in controversy with both Lyra and Bayley's shoulders down on the mat. So while Lyra has been the most effective WWE draft call since last year, Lyra now finds herself here at a disadvantage where we got Lyra having to go through both Bayley and Becky to regain the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. And again, the man, she did win at the first ever Evolution, winning last woman standing, retaining, of course, WWE Women's Smackdown Championship. So can the man rise above both Bayley and Lyra? Will Lyra and Bayley's fallout be their downfall? Or will either woman capitalize on that? And can the man lose this title? This is also, you got to consider, her second defense after Bayley went after Becky Lynch and Lyra got involved and the match got thrown out. So, again, it's one of those things right now in a title in its young, hiccups. Young infertility. I don't want to see this title become hot potato when it should be the workhorse championship of the women's division. And Lyra's been one of the strongest workhorses this year on Monday Night Raw. So I think it's about time to get Lyra away from the Intercontinental scene and get her to the main event scene, especially with a newfound attitude, because many people have been waiting for Lyra to ascend to that next echelon. And most people said she hasn't been able to do that because she's like that attitude. Becky Lynch brought that out of her, and we've seen a much more confident Lyra. I think Lyra, though, will not win this, but I also think she will not lose. I don't think she's going to be pinned. I think Bayley's going to be pinned, and the story's going to be Bayley and Becky in the Intercontinental Women's Championship, and I think Lyra is going to go after the World Championship. But I got Becky Lynch retaining. Let's go ahead and get y'all's thoughts towards this. Lyra regains the title, is what my heart says, but my gut says Becky retains. Yeah, it's again, I think Lyra really set a pace, a precipice for this women's title, and I think she really deserved a strong run. She, of course, had it for about 5 months, of course, since now we're winning it, but I think she also is worthy of being a women's world champion. And Lyra and Io right now screams to me main event scene. I want to see that happen personally. Christopher Kirsten, I got Bayley because she deserves her flowers. Well, it's interesting you say that because, in a way, Bayley would be a Grand Slam champion, much like Becky Lynch is. So if Bayley does win, she will basically match what Becky has done. And while they're formerly the best of friends, they're now the most bitterest of rivals. But speaking of which, she's yours, she's mine, she's our Canadian friend, Ash. Hello, Ash. Welcome to WWE Evolution. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yourself?
I still have a voice somehow, and I'm doing very well. I am sweating, but the action is going to be red hot tonight, just like it is right here in Toledo, Ohio. And I'm looking very forward to calling this show with you guys. Been previewing these matches, including for the Intercontinental title. So, again, what match are you most looking forward to? And then feel free to lend your thoughts towards this.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I got you. You have Bluetooth earbuds, folks. What match are you most looking forward to, and what are your thoughts towards this?
All right, so I'm looking for. This is one of the many matches I'm looking forward to because I'm going to be that person and say the entire card I'm looking forward to.
Nice.
Because it has each match. Because okay, growing up as a woman wrestling fan from like the early '90s through like the Ruthless Aggression era, there were women I enjoyed, but not the division as a whole. And it wasn't until like the late 2010s to now where I can be like, I love the entire division. It's not just a select few I like. It's 95 to like 100% I enjoy watching.
I love
and
that.
It just shows, no pun intended, the evolution and progression of women's wrestling, especially here in North America. Mainly America and the United States, because I can't really speak for Mexico because they have their own history with luchadors and what they call their female wrestlers there. That's luchadors. Separate from here in Canada and in America as well. But yeah, we've come a long way from like where women's wrestling was to what it is now.
Well said, Ash, and I love that aspect. And I couldn't think of a greater partner to be with me on this call tonight. That is a celebration of the development and the evolution of women's professional wrestling in WWE. And Kate Ray also says hello, another Canadian. Well, speaking of Canadians, there's going to be a lot of great Canadians on the show, of course, tonight. But before we get there, let's go ahead and get your thoughts real quick, again, towards the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. I don't think Lyra needs it, but Bayley also becoming Grand Slam like Becky. I could see her also getting it, but also Becky just got this as their second defense, and I don't necessarily see Becky losing it. Again, Becky did win back at the original Evolution. So what do you think?
It's like true. Becky has just recently won the title, but at the same time, because of like the character, personality, and star power Becky has, she doesn't really need a title to stay and remain relevant. Whereas you can make the case for Lyra. Oh yeah, I did.
You brought it up?
Come over here.
Oh, who's that?
This is my mom. Say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
God bless mothers.
So,
anyway.
Oh yeah. So Lyra could use the title more, especially with her newfound personality. You can make the argument that Bayley needs the title as well because she doesn't really have much going for her right now, and she can get a boost by having this run, and also because, like Becky Lynch, she herself is a big name, and she could help put over the next challenger, especially when it's a newer person. But with Lyra, with their newfound personality, I think her having a title reign would really help elevate her newfound character.
Yeah, and again, I think there's a reason why Becky and Lyra, of course, continued their history here. Of course, Becky being the biggest inspiration for Lyra outside Bailey, who she's been a lifelong hardcore fan of. And I do think this attitude was to help Lyra be better in a proverbial way. But I also think Becky thinks Lyra could be, again, not only one of the hardest workers, but could be a world champion. That's why I think Lyra is not going to get this, because she set the precedent for this title. And if you don't want to be stuck in the workhorse scene, I'm not going to call it the mid-card scene, you can't hold this championship on your way to the world title scene. And I think Lyra is finally ready for that. So I also do have Becky retaining. As we got Michael Cole coming in, looks like Michael Cole and Joe Tessitore will be on the call tonight. So let's go and continue getting your thoughts here, talking about great Canadians. I know you're going to say thank you, Trish, but what do you think about Trish Stratus, 25 years earned in the business, challenging Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship? Is it still Tippy time, or is it Trishy time, heading into the biggest party of the summer?
I don't see Tiffany losing the title anytime soon, and I'm hoping she gets a good match out of not just for herself, but with Trish as well. Because from what we've seen from Trish coming in and out of pro wrestling, like once in a while, she has not lost the step. And if they do decide to put the title on Trish, I'm not opposed to it, because I know Trish will use that title reign to elevate the younger talent. It's not that her winning the title is not about her; it's about the next person becoming a megastar by defeating her for the title. But I see Tiffy continuing until whenever she loses it, whenever that may be.
That's fair. And yeah, Tiffany Stratton, again, she really has, of course, been inspired by so many others over the years, by arguably the GOAT of all time, if we're being honest here, Trish Stratus. Of course, we saw these two come together in Canada back at the Royal Rumble and tag team match, or excuse me, Elimination Chamber and tag team match. And as we also got Wade Barrett coming as we're just minutes away. But I also do think that Tiffany Stratton is going to retain. So before we get into the show, we're less than 2 minutes away. Let's talk about the other World Championship, which again, this could be the most polarizing result, but honestly, does Mommy need to be back on top, or does Io Sky continue the run where so far she's been Rhea's downfall? What do you think about this?
It's the same problem with Rhea's getting into that territory where she's always in the main event picture, like we complain about Charlotte. But sure, you can make the argument that, yes, Charlotte's been around way longer. But at the same time, it's just, we need to cycle out opponents for Io, because Io hasn't really defended her title that much. And I don't want the reign to end quite yet. And plus, I get there's a story going in here because Rhea has yet to defeat Io. But we can continue this, have Rhea do something else, and have Rhea, if Io's still champion by then, have her get the big win at a bigger stage. Not saying that this is not a big stage, but when you think of big stages, you think of stuff like SummerSlam or Survivor Series or
WrestleMania.
Yeah, that too.
Where of course Io Sky won that night. So yeah, I think that Io Sky truly proves she is anything but a footnote, and I think she deserves to continue to be the head of the Raw Women's division. I think Io Sky is going to retain them as well. I want to give a shout out, of course, to Jackie Redmond and, of course, Biggie Langston that are part of the countdown panel, as we should be transitioning here shortly, Ash, into the actual presentation. And I believe the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship threat will be the opener, according to what I heard through the grapevine. So again, guys, if you want to be along with us, get your Peacock or your international Netflix put up, and let's get ready to celebrate women's wrestling in WWE once again, for this is their evolution. There you see a beautiful skyline of Atlanta. Matthew, of course, saying that he wants Io to retain, but because how poor this reigns been, they're not going to have Rhea win now. Win my heart, but Rhea gets her moment. Well, it would be a huge moment because Rhea really been on top for so long. Anyway, we're coming to you live, folks, virtually from Atlanta, Georgia, here in the Super Reliable Studios. Tonight, we celebrate the progression and development of incredible female athletes across the world of sports, and particularly sports entertainment. From the State Farm Arena, we once again showcase that this is their evolution, as they've done anything but perish. They have only adapted. It's going to be a very special night. Capacity crowd on hand. We have, of course, 7 matches on tap. As we see Bayley coming in, we're going to become the 3rd ever WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. A lot of big opportunities on the line tonight. And Lyra Valkyria, of course, they, of course, call her Bird Woman, looking to get back the very title that she lost. And, of course, will be facing not only her former mentor, but her former friend. As the man, Becky Lynch, looks to walk in once again and prove that nobody is her or on her level, walking into the Women's Triple Threat with the Intercontinental title. Plus, we, of course, have Tippy time once again to arrive as Tiffany Stratton looks to beat one of her all-time idols in Trish Stratus. And, of course, Trish Stratus and her had a very heated verbal exchange, of course, on Friday Night Smackdown, Ash. As you see the GOAT herself, Trish Stratus, 25 years earned in the business. We're going to win a championship for the first time ever in front of her children.
Oh, that'd be a good moment for her.
And, of course, you talk about don't ever bet against the tiny. There we see Io Sky looking to prove once again why she's been above Mommy. Looking to beat Mommy once more as Rhea Ripley looks to prove why she is always on top. Rhea Ripley is going to regain the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship that she put on the map for a whole year.
Well, yeah, that's how long she's held that title for, hasn't she?
It was 1 full calendar year. That is
wow.
correct.
That's quite a feat, especially for like the women's wrestlers, because most of the women's wrestlers like usually have like a 4 to 5 month reign if they're lucky.
Give or take, but you're counting and not me.
Yeah.
As we got a cold opener here, apparently being sung by Katy Perry, using Rise. We talk about, of course, how women in wrestling have been such massive inspirations for young children of all ages. And boy, have the women risen to the occasion tonight as to gather in this celebration. This is an awesome cold opener.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the legacy of women's wrestling right here. Amy Dumas, Lita, Molly Holly, Mickie James, AJ Lee. China, the 8th wonder of the world.
Oh, yeah, Mom?
I
got it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's right, Kate Rare. She won that in her retirement against Lita in her
Oh, yeah, that's right, too. Yeah.
At, of course, Unforgiven, one of my favorite matches of all time. Also, Trish and Lita put women's wrestling in WWE first on the map when they were the first ever all-women Raw main event.
Yeah, that was a crazy match. And it's amazing, like, how many women's main events we've had since then.
Yeah, not to mention the moments, Elimination Chambers, Royal Rumbles, Money in the Bank, War Games, Iron Woman matches. We've seen everything that the men have done, and some of the women have outshined these men over the last decade plus. Lyra's saying I got to rescue this championship from 2 massive disappointments. WrestleMania rematch, Ash, as Naomi says, proceed with caution.
Yeah. Miss Money in the Bank, which you can cash in whenever, wherever, right?
Yep. Of course, Tiffany Stratton says this is no longer the Attitude Era, and she's very much correct. The future is very bright, but we'll see what the future holds for Summerversary after tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got the NXT title, too, yeah? Being
That's
represented.
Right. All 3 brands world championships are on the line tonight.
I'm surprised no TNA, though, sadly.
It is what it is. But now, Ash, Maybelline, New York, and the Survivor Studios bring to you Evolution. Boom! You know what I would have loved, though, Ash, if the audience was only women.
Yeah, but to be fair, there are men like you, JJ, and others who enjoyed the show as well. So we can't really exclude them.
Well, that's true.
Like, we can't exclude our male audience who enjoy women's wrestling as well. Because
who actually enjoys it, right?
Because
oh,
because inclusion by exclusivity is a little bit of a slippery slope here.
Yeah, you're not wrong there, but I do think they should have like a women's like VIP section that celebrate your legends, or have like a unique showcase of the women reacting first and foremost up front. That's more what I'm saying, honestly.
Okay, that's fair.
Of course, Joe Tutorial right now, basically giving you all the rundown, just like I did. Again, all three brands world championships on the line. Someone's going to have an opportunity to go to France and compete for one of those championships. And of course, we will see these women clash again under no holds barred. Proceed with caution, indeed.
Mm-hmm. Especially when these two, especially like with the heat those two have for each other. Oh boy, who knows what lengths they will go to, destroy one another.
And look who's coming in, Ash.
Stephanie McMahon.
Well, talk about women's influences, not just in wrestling, but just in the business globally. If this is the Paula Beck era, tonight is a celebration for Stephanie McMahon and all women of this era.
That's right. Even though she wrestles, you cannot we can't go without mentioning her influence as a businesswoman.
What an exception.
Right, and what she's done for WWE as a woman in power.
Yeah, of course, former WWE Women's Champion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, didn't she main event a Raw one time as well?
She did. And she also, of course, competed at SummerSlam against, Caitlin, Bella.
Mm-hmm.
Want to give a shout out real quick to the ladies of No DQ, Caitlin Rib, aka Caitlin Bella, Amy and Aaron, my friend Sienna Chanel, indeed darling Cindy, and of course my compadre across the pond, proving that Jade's worth more than gold. Amara Jade continuing her career developing in professional wrestling. Shout out to Montserrat, graduate of the Rose Association, as well as my friend Becca, who also is a huge Bailey fan.
Mm.
And of course, Stephanie, to your point, Ash, she was the one that ushered in this evolution, calling up Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Sasha Banks to redefine what came women's professional wrestling out of the Divas era.
Right? Oh my God, let me tell you something.
Yeah, go for it.
I think it was WrestleMania. I can't remember what WrestleMania was. That had the Becky, Sasha, Charlotte triple threat match.
WrestleMania 32 in Texas.
Okay. So Lita was in the ring. And then when she unveiled that new title, I fucking cried like a baby. And I'm like, finally! Oh my God, that title is so pretty. It's about time. Thank God, Divas no more. Don't get me wrong, okay? There were people in the Divas era. I just didn't like the term diva because
I agree.
The negative connotations of that word. And I will give credit to all the women in the Divas era. They did the best they could with what they were given. It's not their fault they had to pack so much in so little time.
Exactly. And to your point, Ash, again, we wanted to give divas a chance. More importantly, we wanted to give women a chance to represent and show what they could do in the ring. Much more than a pretty face. No offense to the first women professional wrestling that should be inducted to the Hall of Fame, Miss Elizabeth. But we have really seen how competitive and compelling women's professional wrestling can be in this business.
I'm just hoping that now that we got Lex Luger in the Hall of Fame, that's going to be like the door opening for actually finally getting Miss Elizabeth in, because the whole reason why she wasn't not inducted was because of the whole mystery and stuff that happened surrounding the cause of her death, and sadly.
Yeah, and again, it's those legacies that supported us to get to this point. Well, let's go ahead and get ready for our first match as we get ready for the women's WWE Intercontinental Triple Threat as Bayley makes her way to the ring. And hello, folks. Welcome back once again, as I like to encourage. This is the celebration. This is the progression. This is their evolution. Noah Foster, Ash, we are, of course, proud to be with you on this evening to give you our reactions and coverage and outlook on this incredible night celebrating women's professional wrestling in WWE. Hope you all enjoy the conversation, discussions, and reactions. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. If you want to dictate the conversation, PayPal, the pages, or super chat. As simple as that. It's incredible to see all of you in the chat. Give your thoughts. Matthew, Darren, Kate Rayer, Charles, DJ Mutt King, Safet, Christopher LaCure, Wesley, all of you. It is so great to be with you here on this Sunday evening too. And Ash, I know how important and special this is for you, as we talked about not only in our pre-show, but even during Stephanie McMahon hype and celebration. As of course we have the former hugger, the role model, and one of the best workers the last 5 years in WWE, locker room leader Bayley, going up against a very familiar foe and a former friend that she encouraged to go into this business.
Mm-hmm. Like, we talk about women who make the best out of what they're given. Bayley's definitely that person, especially like what she did as a character and as a champion in the pandemic era.
It really took a chance on herself, and she became literally also one of the longest reigning Smackdown Women's World Champions. Has done everything in WWE, but I would argue that this generation's locker room leader could very well be the former Aloy Valkyrie, Lyra Valkyria. I followed Aloy Valkyrie before she was even part of NXT UK, and there was always something special with her presentation and her common proficient striking style. And Lyra has transcended on the main stage here. Of course, the first ever WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion, who held it for 145 days before losing it to Becky Lynch. And since she's lost, we've seen a whole new attitude in self-confidence.
Yeah, it took a while, but she's finally found herself. And that's the one thing me and other people have complaints about, is it's like, who is Lyra other than someone who wrestles really good? Because that's just the way WWE is. Like, you can't, like, there are people who can get over with their wrestling alone. But what really makes you stand out is your charisma, your personality, your character, all the stuff outside of the ring.
Yeah, I definitely, of course, understand where you're coming from there. And again, Lyra saying that she needs to free that championship from two bullies that don't deserve it. And we saw what happened this past Monday night on Raw. Lyra dropped both the champion and Bayley. But we'll see if the man stands tall tonight, who, of course, owes a win here at the very first Evolution. Time to hit the big time, Ash.
Oh, Becky, right? Sorry, I'm a little bit behind.
Oh, you're fine. Just let me know when you see that steam and those stats. Of course, Becky Lynch has been now champion for 36 days, going to her second title defense, and 8 of her last 9 matches have been concerning only championships. Let me know when you see her hold that title and the steam goes up.
I see it. She's holding the title.
Of course, Becky Lynch returned to WWE back at WrestleMania when, of course, her and Lyra won the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and Lyra became Lyra 2 belts. But as we learned, it was all a ruse to get her own moment at the expense of Lyra when we found out she was the one that assaulted Bayley.
That's what some people do. They are willing to do anything to get that spotlight, get that title, I am the main character. It's all about me, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to prove that, yes, I am the main character. It's all about me.
And to your point, Ash, Becky Lynch was once the people's choice. The people wanted the man. To your point, the man transcended the first ever women's WrestleMania main event. WrestleMania 35 beat Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey that night, became Becky 2 belts, won the SmackDown Raw Women's Championship, then went Lady Gaga. She went full heel, went on to hold the Raw Women's Championship for 1 full calendar year before losing the EST. But there's no denying that Becky Lynch has been a trailblazer for the evolution of women's professional wrestling in WWE.
Oh, definitely, especially how she started off in NXT to what she ultimately became.
Of course, Becky Lynch has also held the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship on a couple of occasions, as you see at the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship being hoisted up in that beautiful CGI graphic. Again, triple threat, no disqualifications, first pinfall submission. You leave with the title. Champion does not be involved in the decision.
And the thing is, like, yeah, that's right. The champion doesn't have to be pinned for the title to change hands.
And by the way, just listen to this atmosphere, Ash. These three women know what they are setting the pace for tonight.
Right? The crowd is electric right now, to quote Michael Cole.
And there we go now. It barely clocks Lyra.
Oh, okay. She wants to, I see now. She wants Becky all to herself after what happened at WrestleMania. She wants to get she wants revenge.
Let's not forget also, these are two of the 4 horsewomen of the black and gold NXT. You saw Becky holding up the symbol as Bayley right now tees up against a very familiar foe and friend. Of course, Bayley and Becky Lynch came into WWE around the same time. And right now, oh, that's backdrop suplex there by Bayley. And right now, Lyra from behind. Of course, Lyra owes a pinfall win over Bayley, not once, but twice. And that's really where that respect was garnered with these two. Right now, Bayley just literally teeing up against Lyra here. Both these women rolling around in the ring. And of course, Bayley's been part of the Monday Night Raw roster. Maestro Cradle, here's the cover. The robe on Lyra gets a 1 count as Becky is no longer right now involved in the confrontation. Backslide by Lyra gets a 2 count. And right now we got a bit of a test of strength here, Ash. Wait, watch Becky. Becky with the double roll up. That was smart.
Right.
And right now, Bayley, I want to give a shout out to the entire WWE correspondence. Cover with the roll up gets a 2 count. Alicia Taylor, Captain Kelly, Jackie Raymond, Stephanie McMahon, Joe Tessitore, Wade Barrett, and Michael Cole. Nice rising knee strike by Bayley to Becky, and Lyra, though, using Becky as a weapon. Innovation might be key here, but also capitalize an opportunity off the second rope. Nice cross body, looking for a deep arm drag. Second cross body, what's out Becky? Covering now to regain the title. Gets a kick out at 2.
Man, these rapid fast sequences is so hard to keep up with.
You see that Lyra's fired up here, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Lyra set the pace for this title being Dakota Kai. Inside cradle, though, by Becky. Gets a 2 count. With wins over the likes of Ivy Nile and Raquel Rodriguez on her way to WrestleMania to challenge for the Tag Team Women's Championships.
Like, that's what Lyra was. She was the fighting champion, defending that title any chance she gets. And oh my God, this is quite the submission Lyra's got Becky in right now.
Angela being applied here to your point. Shades of course, another standout in women's wrestling. Paige, also known as Saraya. Nice knee strike there. As, of course, Paige used to use that. But again, you took your eyes off one opponent as a triple threat. They could come in any time from behind and get the better of you, as Bayley did there in that moment. Shotgun drop kick by Lyra to Bayley now, and Lyra in the ring alone.
And just as almost Becky did, she stacked up both of them while they were rolling up each other.
And Lyra right now looking to soar here tonight, looking to add another battle feather to her wings. And Lyra right now, Giulia caught though of the attempted drop kick. Hoisted up by Bayley and Becky. Oh, and face first in the announce table. Good grief. As if there wasn't enough freaking physical warfare last night on Saturday night's main events. You do wonder, though, Ash, if Bayley and Becky were more so focused on each other, figuring that they should be the ones only involved here in this match evolution.
No, Becky wants to keep that title, and this would be a good moment for Bayley because if she wins it, doesn't she become a Grand Slam champion, cementing her status as like one of the main women wrestlers?
Yeah, exactly. Baseball slide now by Becky Lynch. Of course, the only title these two never held was the NXT UK Women's Championship, a title that Lyra had a chance to take from Michael Satomura, the final boss, now retired, arigato, and of course lost to Michael when she had a chance for that title. It was actually the first loss when Aloy Valkyrie, oh man, Lyra Vaquer was undefeated in NXT UK before that point.
Oh wow, that's very impressive.
And right now, of course, Lyra Vaquer looking to capitalize off her year so far. Vaquer off the apron to the floor with a crossbody. And now Lyra here focusing on Becky. Nice tornado DDT attempt. Oh, and pushes it, still ring steps. By Becky. Good counter here by the man.
Nicely done by her.
Again, though, look at what Becky's focusing on. Becky is focusing on Bayley most of this match. Driving Bayley head first to the barricade.
It's almost like to make you think like in her mind, Lyra's an afterthought. And
right
that,
now, yeah,
and
exactly.
that can
Oh, go ahead.
I would say her cost, like focusing on Bayley and like not worrying about Lyra, could cost her the title.
Right now, Becky realizes she may have an opportunity here to capitalize. To your point, cover Carol getting their leg on the back press 2 count on Bayley. And Becky and Bayley have defined each other's careers since 2014 in NXT. I want to give a shout out to Stat Boy Mike and our other stat girl, Dory Lou, who gave me some stats here ahead of Evolution tonight. I want to thank both of them. Check them out on the Sports Bar, folks. But the fact that these two have transcended WWE for 11 years, Ash, is crazy.
Right? And also, that's very smart of Becky to go target Bayley's knee, because Bayley has a history of knee injuries, as well as does she not?
Yeah, she does. One of the reasons why, of course, Bayley, for many of people, is like, why does she always wear pants? Oh, stunner across the second rope. Well, that's part of the reason. Of course, Bayley made history before Becky and Charlotte Flair, when, of course, her and Sasha Banks put NXT and women's wrestling on the map at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Nice double axe handle there by Becky to the top of the head of Bayley. Cover now to retain the title. Gets the 2 counts.
And only followed that up with like the really good Iron Woman match too that they had at the pay-per-view after.
Which, of course, inspired the young Izzi Moreno. For all we know, could be very well part of WID sooner rather than later, but will be going up against Seda Steelkin very soon in GCW. Of course, still the Mission Pro Wrestling Women's Champion out of course, Hybrid Wrestling in Texas. All best to the BFF Izzi Moreno, who now is officially 18.
Right.
Nice stomp there. And it's amazing how the youth have developed at such a young age in this business, Ash. Like the likes of Billy Starks.
I was about to mention her. I was about to mention her too. Like you read my mind.
I try. Lyra right now, nowhere to be seen after being driven in those steel ring steps here. Chance for Bayley running out here. Bayley trying to fight back underneath, elbow to the midsection here, and Bayley and Becky both trying to attack the core. Becky with a vicious shot to the ribs and the kidneys. Bayley answering in kind with the forearm right now. Bit of a one-on-one action here right now as Bayley trying to wear down the champion. Looking for Rose Plant, and Becky scouting it. Looking for the disarmer. Bayley with the roll-up, though. Counter, and a 2 count. Meanwhile, looking for the man in the slam. Looking for the man in the slam, the counter. To your point, out of the sky! Cross by up the top rope, wiping out both Bayley and Becky. Spinning Sovat, up kick. Great combination here by the proficient striker, Lyra Valkyria. Went for that high kick. Oh, man, and Becky used her advantage to take Bayley out. Now we got Bayley and Lyra, man on the slam. It's a cover counter by Lyra. A great counter, nearly got the win there. Back press on the far leg. Roundhouse connects, rocks the man. Now Lyra with a chance here. Northern Line suplex with a bridge. Rolls through.
Oh, and she's managed to hold on.
Hook in the leg, Fisherman Buster. Cover with the bridge too. The elbow drop.
The elbow drop.
And of course, Bayley inspired by the likes of Macho Man Randy Savage. Let's take a look at the replay here at picture perfect.
Oh, beautifully
timing.
done.
Oh, man. And it's one of those things, though, being stuck in that position, all Lyra could do is nothing but take that. And this is an incredible night we have in store here tonight. All 3 of these women setting a great pace here. This is for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Bayley, Lyra Valkyria, and Becky Lynch.
I love how hot the crowd is for this match. This is amazing.
I hope they keep up this energy all night. This is honestly one of the hottest U.S. crowds I've heard for in a long time in WWE. As it should be, damn it. All that fun.
We're getting a "This is awesome" chant.
As it should be.
Right?
Now, Bayley. Go ahead.
Sorry, you can finish.
No, you're good. Oh, man. Sunset flip powerbomb. Becky and Lyra. And now Billy in the cover with the far leg. 2 count. Please go ahead.
I was about to say, hopefully we hear that chant all night throughout the rest of the matches as well.
Well, I think everybody here deserves it because at the end of the day, while you might want to question the booking, oh, corner elbow drop by Billy to Lyra. There's no doubt everyone's going to put in the work tonight. Cover now by Billy on Lyra. Gets a 2 count. You almost wonder at what point does Billy get frustrated because to this point, Billy has not beaten Lyra one-on-one yet.
Oh, yeah, that's a good stat. Yeah.
Except back in February, where, again, that was a rematch follow-up where Lyra won. And that, of course, was for the Women's World Championship. Billy and Lyra have only had 3 one-on-one altercations. And it literally stands 1-1-1. Ain't that an interesting result?
It makes you wonder, like, what does Bayley want more? To get the win over Lyra or finally to get her comeuppance on what Becky did to her at WrestleMania?
Well, considering Bayley, of course, last lost to Lyra and their last one-on-one ended in no contest, I think it's a tale of 2 stories. Becky, though, coming in, though, to your point, all Becky cares about is proving why she's the man and why she believes that she may be the leader of this evolution that we're at here in 2025. Now, Lyra going after Becky. Fend it off, though. Big heel kick right to the face of Lyra. Now, Becky right now hooking up at the top. Superplex. Quicker than the cover now is Becky Lynch on Bayley. Gets a 2 count. Now, immediately going after the arm, though. Cross arm break with the cover. That arm bar locked in, though. Hyperextended. Bayley unable, but rolls Becky up in the cover and forces Becky to break it. Becky with the armbar once again, looking for the pump handle now. Now Bayley trying to counter Becky, looking to hook her head and arm for the rose plant. Oh, man!
Oh, my God. Lyra with the leg drop.
From the heavens straight to hell, cover, back press on Bayley. Lyra gets 2.5. An incredible near fall for Lyra Vaquer. Take a look at the replay, Ash, to your point. Wow. There's a reason why Aloy Valkyrie was undefeated in NXT UK, Ash. It was that very top rope leg drop.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 women down.
Taken to the skies like her namesake.
Crowd chant, this is awesome. I agree. And again, this is our opening contest. You see Lyra trying to lift dead weight with Becky Lynch. Again, I've been talking about Lyra Valkyria for the longest time, more than anyone even in WWE even knew who she was. Pushed off the ropes. Now Becky up on Lyra's shoulders. Bayley down for the time being. Becky able to fend her off, though. Uh-oh. Looking for DDT. Get to the midsection. What is this?
The double DDT?
Oh, man. 2-1 special. Reverse and a regular. Cover on Lyra to retain. Kick out at 2. Good Lord. And again, for those that wonder about predictions across WWE, NXT, and WWE, I will have results later in the week. Thank you all again for tuning into the entire week for the Super Studios in our previews and watch-along coverage. You all make this possible in how we progress the passion. And Becky right now looking to continue to progress upward in WWE, still holding the WWE Women's World Champion and proving she's better than Lyra. Lyra slow to stagger to her feet. Becky hooking up Lyra, and it'll slam. Counter, reverse, Cazadora, roll
nice
up on Becky, 2
there.
count. Now Becky with the roll up on Lyra, 2 count. But the boot. Oh, man, sent Lyra over her face. And hooking up Lyra. No, slam! Cover for Becky to get the stave.
Just right in time, too.
And again, this is the risk of a triple threat. When you think you have one opponent down, another one comes in. The incredibly competitive contest here in our opener has been any woman's game.
It is.
Then Becky and Lyra lining up one another. These women aren't holding nothing back here. The animosity of the man and the role model. And Becky runs into Bayley with a throat thrust, it looks like. Now Becky following up, but Bayley with the knee to the midsection. We'll see which one of these women drops first in this exchange. Back elbow strike, great scouting by Bayley. Now hoisting up Becky up on the shoulders. Bayley. Oh! And Becky Lynch down. Bayley with a counter and a Bayley!
Oh, we haven't.
Lyra with the save.
A lot of close calls in this match, isn't there?
Dumb. If you're going to put this one away, you got to make sure the other woman's out of the equation. All three of these women are on point here, Ash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they all brought their A game today, didn't they?
Now, Bailey and Lyra here. And Bailey, slamming the taste out of Lyra. Oh, and Lyra stirs the Guri. Dropping Bailey hard. Now Lyra with Becky up on the shoulders. Nightwing! Nightwing! Cover! Bailey with the save! Every woman's hit their finishing move, and the other remaining contestant has broken the pinfall. And Lyra right now and Bailey slow to move, getting up to their knees, still finding out pie facing each other. I need Lyra and Bailey in an Iron Woman match after this.
Ooh, I would love that. Yeah, that sounds really good. I wouldn't mind Lyra versus Becky in one as well. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you can do any combination with these three right now. Up on the shoulders, countering the jackknife. Now Bailey, the reverse roll-up, cover on Lyra. And Lyra rolling up Bailey. 2 count only. Went for the Enziguri. Bailey able to scout it, though. Now Bailey hooking up Lyra. Rose plant! Rose plant! Shoot the half! Matchbook cover. Becky, wait a minute!
Oh, wow!
Slide 2! Becky Lynch returns!
Oh, that was nicely done by Becky. That was very smart of her to wait for that moment, and she picked an opportune time and capitalized on it.
And standing ovation by the audience for an incredible, hard-fought opening contest. Becky Lynch still WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion, and I literally called the result. Bailey got caught in the pinfall, but you cannot argue that Bailey and Lyra brought everything tonight. But the man, while she's not standing, still reigns tall. Let's go back to the replays here, Ash. This was a great match.
It was. What a nice hot way to open the show.
Yeah, you want to talk about the replays? Go for it. The manhandled slam, and I'll let you take it from here. Go ahead and talk about what you saw here.
I saw this match. This match has like a lot of good counters, pinfalls. It was bonkers to put it lightly. Like these women gave it their all.
And the finishing stretch, all three women, every woman had a chance to leave here tonight with the championship, but the remaining party made sure that didn't happen. At the end of the day, Rose plant by Bailey, matchbook cover on Lyra, the takeover by Becky, the backslide, Becky Lynch retains, pinning Bailey. Congratulations to the man who is now 2-0 at Evolution.
Oh yeah, that's right, because she beat Charlotte in that what was it?
Last woman standing match.
That's what it was, yeah.
Becky Lynch still the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. As Becky screams, I'm the best to ever do it. And we got a moment to breathe. Fuck WWE marketing because it's so damn ridiculous. Well, that being said, I said what I said. This service still sucks and it's still way over marketed. All right. Underwhelming wrestling. Well, that being said, Ash, great stuff. And I do wonder now, does that mean Lyra will move towards the World Championship picture? She's had her rematch. She had her chance. She tried to beat her former friend, now foe, and Becky got the better of them both.
You would hope so, because I wouldn't mind seeing Io versus Lyra, because Io, if she does retain, could use some more opponents. Or Lyra versus Ripley would be a pretty good, solid match, too. Because right now, we got Becky and Bailey. They have their program going on with each other, and so Lyra can move on and do different and better things.
Now, that being said, though, Bailey got pinned by Becky. So is Bailey going to still go after Becky, or is Bailey right now going to question herself when it comes to whether she fit in WWE after losing out on that championship?
Because Lyra did a very good job of establishing the standard for the Intercontinental title by defending it every week.
Pretty much against all challengers, whether they were open or whether they confronted her. Of course, we're here in Atlanta right now. Atlanta, Georgia, previously, of course, hosted a WrestleMania. Speaking of women influenced WWE, there you see the NXT General Manager, Ava Raine, also known as Simone Johnson, The Rock's daughter. as they right now are highlighting. Oh, this is unique. WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, who of course has had his own influence on certain women in this business, including but not limited to Samantha Irvin.
Oh, Nikki!
God, no. God, no, that voice. My nightmare. Hey. Of course, former competitor and former Smackdown general manager. I think dogs are barking Ash.
Right? Like, think of it like even as general manager. Look what she's done for Edge and Dolph Ziggler to a degree.
Yeah, right. She's been a fatal influence in WWE, to say the least. Speaking of which, we look towards the future of the NXT Women's Championship, as we'll see who's heading to Summerversary to make history. It's Jordynne Grace versus Jessie Jane for the NXT Women's Championship. As, of course, now they play the cold opener for those that have the premium Peacock service, and those that don't, you're probably getting advertising and trivia. Again, Ash, this is huge. One of these women will have a chance to not be the face of NXT, but the face of the most, in my opinion, influential women's division in North America, the TNA Knockouts, established by Gail Kim, set the pace since 2008. Gail Kim, Awesome Khan, Angelina Love, ODB, Mickie James, just to name a few. Tara.
Love, Velvet Sky.
I mean, we could go on all day. The Bunny. Right? Hey, Allie.
Taylor Wilde, Sarita.
Rosemary, Jade.
Kamada.
Jordynne Grace. Yep. Tessa Blanchard. The Virtuosa. Deonna Purrazzo. And, of course, the current TNA Knockouts World Champion, Masha Slamovich. But speaking of champions, the world was a what the fuck when they saw Jessie Jane beat Stephanie Vaquer and became the fatal influence in NXT's women's division.
I don't watch NXT, and even I was surprised by this. Like, oh, they give this to her. Okay. Because she's one of the few women who I don't really hear much about. So when I heard she won the title, I'm like, oh, they must have either they have big plans for her, or I hate using this word, transitional champion.
Well, considering who she's facing, I think the latter might come into play. Of course, it was a fatal four-way that led to eliminator matches that led to fatal four-way, where, of course, we saw Jordynne Grace get the better of Izzi Dame, Jaida Parker, and I believe Lash Legend. Jordynne Grace, of course, rolling up Jaida Parker, punched her ticket tonight to Evolution. Jordynne Grace, who really stepped through the transfer report on WWE first, more than any other person from TNA, involved in the Royal Rumble, coming in as the reigning defending TNA Knockouts World Champion, defended that title at NXT Battleground last year in the UFC Apex against Roxanne Perez, the presentation of that title, and of course, is now going out to the NXT Women's Championship for the fourth time since being part of WWE. And that juggernaut driver might lead Jordynne Grace to return back home with a title she put on the map, on the line.
The TNA Knockouts champion.
But again, to Jessie Jane's credit, if there is any, while I still think it should be found Henry, Jessie Jane has been a long-term stay in NXT. Of course, one of the longest reigning notorious WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and now looking to lead by example as the champion in NXT. And I think the jury is out to your point that if Jessie Jane doesn't win here tonight, then she's nothing but a footnote in NXT history.
Mm-hmm.
We also got to consider that Jessie Jane has the numbers game. Jasmine Nix and Found Henry will be in her corner.
Do you think Blake Monroe would be in Jordynne Grace's corner?
I could see it, considering last night it was Blake Monroe and Jordynne Grace that got the win over Fatal Influence, with Blake Monroe pinning, of course, not the champion. So tonight, we're going to see the landscape change once again in NXT, whether fatal or whether powerful. NXT Women's Championship on the line. Here we go. Oh, I hate that Jordynne Grace has been death rebelled. Pound for pound, one of the strongest women in WWE. And I mean that literally.
She's called the Juggernaut for a reason. Just look at all that power in that tiny body. Oh, there's Blake Monroe.
To your point, there she is, the glamour I think they call themselves the Glamour Knots. Of course, Jordan Grace alongside the newcomer to the NXT Women's Division. They got their win last night at NXT Great American Bash by Mariah May. Still one of the greatest stories of women's wrestling ever against Timeless Toni Storm in AEW. Look at that little bit backstage segment here. Like saying this is your moment to want to take away from it.
I just had this crazy thought. Like, what if Blake Monroe helps JC Jane and become part of Fatal Attraction? Because she does kind of fit in well with that group, does she not?
She definitely has the look, and she also has the sinister resume. Of course, we're watching AEW, that she definitely could fit the mold. You're not wrong there. The statuesque blonde bombshell, former AEW Women's World Champion, accompanying Jordan Grace tonight. We're going to be the influence in both NXT and TNA. But to do that, she's going to have to beat Jessie Jane. Jessie Jane, pressure cooker at an all-time high. Of course, one of the leads Bray Morrell is out here. To your point, it was Fatal Influence that first confronted the Glamour, which she signed on the dotted line to NXT. Jessie Jane now, folks, has been the NXT Women's Champion now for 47 days. And this is her second defense and first ever one-on-one match against Jordan Grace.
Oh, wow.
I just don't know if I could just buy into Jessie Jane as somebody that could lead NXT and TNA, even if she was to win here tonight. In my opinion, she's going to have to win clean to prove something to me. But being the heel that she is, I don't expect any sort of sportsmanship from this woman or group.
No, not at all. From what I've seen from her and Toxic Attraction, much like Blake Monroe in AEW, she's willing to do anything to get what she wants.
Let's head down to the ring announcer, Alicia Taylor, to set the pace for our first World Championship match of the night. What? Oh! All right. Big fight feel, big fight feel. For those that don't know, Jordan Grace is 29 years of age, has been involved in the game for 14 years.
Wrestled in GCW, TNA, and where else has she wrestled?
Progress, WSW, Selda Pro, and of course, PMM and BLP. She's been all over.
Okay, because I mostly know her from GCW. That's why it's very prominent in my mind.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. And I know Jessie Jane from a brief work that she had, of course, in Australia. For what it's worth, Jessie Jane is actually one of the more experienced competitors in the NXT women's roster.
Where in Australia did she work?
Of course, the winner of this match will go on to Slammiversary to represent NXT and go after the TNA Knockouts World Championship in winner take all. As I look up that information for you here. Jessie Jane, by the way, stands at 29 years of age. She worked out of ACW as Avery Taylor, also known as American Combat Wrestling. Bell rings are underway.
Okay.
It's also an inactive promotion right now, too.
Fair enough. Because there's one promotion in Australia right now called PWA that if you're interested in, you can check online on YouTube.
Keep up. And of course, Robbie Eagles have influence in Australia as well, too, Jessie Jane. Jordan Grace fired up here tonight, and Blake Monroe in approval. Of course, A.B. Taylor, Jessie Jane is also a former WXW women's champion. Jordan Grace being Jessie inside the ring with the far leg. Back press gets a 1 count. But I will say this. I'm not underestimating Jessie Jane, but I think, underappreciating what Jessie Jane's done in NXT. And I think a lot of people are. Oh, man. Catapult, throat first into the second rope.
Does JC Jane have that stigma of nothing more than a tag team wrestler?
Well, considering her and Gigi Dolan talking as a attraction held those WWE NXT Women's Tag Team Championships for 250 days, I would say yes. Of course, Jessie Jane formed this group with Fallon Henley, former Tessa Price, and one of the newest comers to NXT, Jasmine Nix. Looking to be a bully cover now. And Grace kicks out. Looking to be a bully towards every woman here in NXT, calling every other woman a rookie. And look at this catapult again. As throat first goes Jordan Grace in the second rope. And then a vicious neck breaker. So Jessie Jane right now with a focus attack on the head and neck of Jordan Grace.
Very smart to capitalize on the neck area, especially after that catapult.
Of course, Jessie Jane right now been involved in the business for 9
years. Here's the numbers game.
Yep, and there you see Fallon Henry getting involved. Of course, that's a crazy country chick. Hardcore country this generation. Rolling cannonball by Jessie Jane in the corner to Jordan Grace. Here's the cover now, the back press. Look at the far leg. Gets a 2 count. Jessie Jane's been trained by the likes of Jay Lethal and Matt Sydal, known as the Lady of Rock and Rumble.
Oh, wow.
And right now, Jordan Grace, of course, the wife of another foundation of Ring of Honor in the Octopus, Jonathan Gresham. Now, Jessie Jane in control right now of the Juggernaut, grounding her. Jordan Grace, of course, a 3-time TNA Knockouts world champion. Her last run went for 287 days, and she defined the TNA Knockouts World Championship for a total of 677 days.
Jessie James just working on that neck area, just trying to wear her down.
And clearly Jessie Jane came in here with a game plan. I think she had some good scouting last night at Great American Bash. Of course, Jordan Grace has done so much. Former Progress Women's Champion, TNA Digital Media Champion, participant, of course, in Queen of the Mountain, Royal Rumble participant. Oh, man, a throat thrust by Jessie Jane. Former Zeta Pro Women's Champion, even defended the TNA Knockouts World Championship against Zarya, former Delta. Punch with a spine buster.
Ooh, that was nice.
And of course, Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace did get the win last night, but Blake Monroe did pin the champion, though.
Oh.
I believe. So, again, the Women's Championship on the line tonight. I would think Blake Monroe would be definitely next in line, whether or not it's Jessie Jane, Jordan Grace, or Macho Slammers that holds the title after next weekend.
Yeah, I was about to say that getting a win on the champion puts her in line for contendership, does it not?
Yeah, I would say so. And of course, we know what's on the line here, as the winner of this match is going on the Slammiversary to face Maja Slamovich in winner take all for the TNA Knockouts World title and the NXT Women's title.
That would be something for like Jessie Jane if she actually not only does win this match, but eventually beat Masha, proving to everyone that her win was not a fluke and she's more than just a tag team wrestler.
Right now, Jordan Grace creating separation with Jessie Jane. And Jordan Grace now sending Jessie Jane face first in the top turnbuckle, a la full Nelson, 3-time backslide. And went for that knee, and I think Jordan Grace blocked it. Now Jordan Grace is going to hook up Jessie Jane. And Joe, man. I'm not sure who got the worst of that one there. Awkward landing by both.
Yeah. Looks like Jessie Jane got the worst of it, though.
Now Jane here hoisted up by Jordan Grace. Oh! Sit out powerbomb package folded in 2.5. So close. Jordan Grace winning the NXT Women's Championship finally. Fallon Henley, of course, former NXT Women's North American Champion, who lost that title to Stephanie Vaquer, where Stephanie Vaquer went on to beat Giulia to hold both the NXT Women's North American and the NXT Women's Championship. Now possibly looking for that Juggernaut driver, and Jessie Jane trying to fight back here. And right now, Jordan Grace, again, showing her strength.
Yeah, absolutely. Just all muscle, all power.
Oh, went for the Vader bomb. Jessie Jane got out of the way, though. Went for a big kick. Jordan Grace able to scout it. Now up on the shoulders. And again, Jessie Jane able to get out. Back elbow. Grace cutting here with an elbow. Super kick by Jessie Jane. And Jessie Jane does have a strength and reach advantage, I will say.
But she does. Look at those legs of hers. These are so goddamn long.
And Jordan Grace rocked off that boot. Was the problem that Jessie Jane once played rugby at a time or so. Right now, Jordan Grace trying to create separation as women's champion here. Again, you gotta watch Jasmine Nixon and Found Henry on the outside. Get to the midsection. Reverse, skins the cat, lands on the apron. Jessie Jane went for a shot. Oh, and caught with a rising knee strike. Jordan Grace might be on her feet here. She has her drift in the second rope.
Ooh, that was a
Swinging
nice
neck
DDT.
breaker.
Oh, that was a neck breaker. I thought it was DDT. Okay. That was
Cover
still pretty sweet.
Yeah, I thought first she was going to go for DDT, and then again, she worked the neck instead, turned into a swinging neck breaker here, and hooked the far leg so Jordan Grace couldn't go for the rope break, but Jordan Grace still kicked out.
Continuously working on that neck of Jordan Grace. Oh, what's Jessie Jane's finisher?
I believe this Jade's finisher is still a massive big boot, because I remember it rearranged the face of Gigi Dolan, but I'm not sure if she has a different finisher in mind.
Okay, because I'm only asking because she's really targeting that neck.
Well,
I'm thinking like maybe that could play into one of her many finishing moves that she has.
I think it's that lethal knee strike that knocked out Lainey Reed. That's her finisher. Went for a cannonball and came up empty as Jordan Grace got out of the way. Up and over. Sunset flip. Cover now by Jordan Grace. It's a 1 count. Matchbook cover looking to stack up Jordan Grace. Kicks out. Now the reversal. Another pinning predicament. Able to get out of the way. Of course, now residing in Clearwater Beach, Florida is Jessie Jane.
Oh,
wow. Now the champ's in trouble here. Back press with the far leg. Oh, and Jordan Grace almost got it.
I don't know what that was, but that was a nice counter on Jordan Grace.
Yeah, definitely hooking up the leg. Almost a modified fisherman suplex. Still not quite enough, though, to put down this fatal influence. I do think Jordan Grace, though, again, is closing in closer on the victory than Jessie Jane, if I'm being perfectly honest. And Jordan Grace right now falls in. Jessie Jane able to scout her, though. Ooh. Oh, man. Able to rock her off that one. Of course, Jessie Jane's also been in the ring with the likes of Natalya Markova, just to put it out there when it comes to her in-ring experience prior to NXT. Of course, Natalya Markova, a mainstay name in the NWA. And now, what the world is Jessie Jane? Oh, man!
Wow, it connected. The Hurricane Rana.
Bang! Got the knee. Grace me down and out. Deep on the both legs. Kick out. That too by Jordan Grace.
Yeah, that was a beautiful sequence only, and then, but still, unfortunately, it was not enough for Jessie Jane to get the victory.
And you can definitely see right now a sense of desperation on Jessie Jane's face. The strategy by Jasmine Nix.
Oh, you're going to put her out?
Oh,
that's what. Okay.
By the glamour, Blake Monroe just not found them out. Now you see Jessie Jane with the title. Arguing with the referee, though. The schoolgirl roll up by Jordan Grace. Take on the leg. Oh, man.
That was way too close.
Got the super kick. Jordan Grace. Back elbow. Strike connect.
Yeah, it was like really whopped her, didn't she?
Now Jasmine Nix with the NXT Women's Championship. Title in hand. You got one of Jasmine Nix wants to be as oh, man. Blake Monroe knocking her out cold. Now Blake Monroe with the NXT Women's title. And now the Glamour supporting Jordan Grace in this endeavor. And Jordan Grace looking for Paxley, the Juggernaut driver, but found him coming into play again. Jessie Jane finding back, though. Jordan Grace able to scout her, blocking the kick. Big forearm. The Irish whip, reversal Irish whip. Oh, no!
Oh, my God.
Jordan goes the tie on the back. Knockout shot by Jessie Jane. Look counter. Jessie Jane wins! Blake Monroe just cost Jordan Grace. Jessie Jane is going to Slammiversary.
I was not expecting to call that.
I don't think that was an accident. I don't think that was an accident. I think that was blatant.
It was.
You very well might be right, Ash, and another fatal influence here in NXT. Jessie Jane is going to Slammiversary.
Wow, that's gonna be a match.
Oh, wait a minute. Blake Monroe and face to face with Jessie Jane. Whoa. Well, you were telling me earlier about maybe a fatal wait a minute. Well, whether or not Blake Monroe is a fatal influence, one thing's for sure, the glamour is all about the glamour. Jessie Jane is going to Slammiversary. Jessie Jane is still NXT Women's Champion. I'm glad I changed my pick because I knew WWE was going to screw Jordan Grace. Thanks, GAB. Again, as to your point, belt to the lower back, rolling elbow strike. Jessie Jane, hook of the leg. Jessie Jane retains. And look at the face of Blake Monroe. Again, I'll say it once. I'll say it 1,000 times. Never have something so glamorous seem so sinister.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you like it or not, folks, you still have Jessie Jane as your fatal influence in NXT.
It's always the pretty ones you gotta watch out for.
Unbelievable. I'm a little bit disgusted. I'm sick. I'm fucking sick by this.
I can't believe I actually called that. Holy shit.
I knew it was going to happen because at the end of the day, WWE's going to be WWE. I know WWE for what it is, all right? They're trying to take over TNA. So why do you take over TNA with a fatal influence in NXT? Utter crap. Yeah. That just made me sick.
Say, like, Masha was not going to retain against Jessie Jane.
I pray to God that she does, but to your point now, folks, it's going to be official. Masha Sands will defend the TNA Knockouts World Championship against Jessie Jane for the NXT Women's Championship in winner take all. And you all say, go ahead.
Here's another question. Do you think Blake Monroe gets involved in this match like she did with this one?
I think it goes a little bit further than that when they try to push her as a babyface. We know her so good as a heel. I think that she's going to continue to be a fourth NXT, knowing that she, of course, wants the NXT Women's Championship. I could see her maybe feeling Jessie Jane's a more vulnerable target to maybe help her win, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see in a week. Literally 7 days from today, folks. TNA Slammiversary. And of course, the next time we're covering WWE on PLE, on Peacock, it'll be the biggest part of the summer, Ash, where it goes 2 nights for the first time ever from MetLife Stadium. SummerSlam, of course, headlined by the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, taking on John Cena again to regain the Undisputed WWE Championship. Good Lord. Yeah, you're not the only one, Cape Rare. I don't even know if freaking JJ's happy about that, honestly. And again, Ash, like we said, yeah, we're celebrating women's legacy in wrestling. Managed by Teddy Long, the former 2-time WWE Women's Champion, influencer in NWA and TNA. And of course, earlier today, talking about all the greats, there you see Ivory, who's still as crazy as ever, in my opinion. Of course, we also remember her as the good mother.
Oh, there's Jacqueline now.
That's Jacqueline right there, Ash. I recognize
right.
that.
So in the one picture, in my honest mistake, her long hair, like Jazz had, kind of did look like how Jacqueline had her hair at one point.
I mean, Jacqueline did have a hell of a feud against, of course, Trish Stratus.
Well, that she did, yeah. Oh, here's Maurice.
And of course, 2-time WWE Divas Champion and Mrs. Miz. Definition of a diva in that era. All right, let's go to Joe Tessitore and Stephanie McMahon for a moment to breathe. And again, my apologies, botched. Jessie Jane, I think she had like a match with Australia. She's not from Australia. I think at one point she was Australian. She actually was born here in America, in Florida. Well, anyway, Joe Tessitore and Stephanie McMahon watching on from the, I guess that's the Grill on Zoom position, right? So, of course, talking about let's talk about not only the workers in ring, Ash. How about the broadcasters of the business, like Veda Scott, right? Renee Paquette, like the great podcasters, like Stephanie, like Denise Salcedo, of course, and of course, great friends here at some of our studios, like Arlene Dominguez, like Kat, for example. Again, there's such a prevailing influence of women in wrestling in and out of the ring. It's beautiful to see, and again, it's not just you, and of course, we appreciate you. Of course, we still have so much more to come tonight here, folks. Fatal four-way for the Women's Tag Team Championship still to come. We still have, of course, the WWE Women's Championship, as well as the Women's World Championship, a no-holds-barred contest, and a battle royal to determine who will go on to challenge for a World Championship at Clash in Paris.
I love how in these spaces, like in pro wrestling media, we have like women voices, which is really good because it is nice to have like these discussions with a female's perspective.
Absolutely. And it's such a male-dominated world, which, again, is why I appreciate your insight. And I love this dichotomy. I don't call it an offset. I call it dichotomy because this business is equally loved and shared, I think, by both men and by women more than ever. And it looks like, guys, we're getting ready for our fatal four-way for the Women's Tag Team Championships. As here comes the former, I believe, two-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors, who have not held these titles since May 2024 and are going into the 37th match together as a tag team.
Oh, wow. That's the longevity of this tag team. And these two work so well together.
Of course, part previously of Damage Control. And of course, we've also seen Kairi Sane return home here to help Io Sky and Asuka when Damage Control was trying to run WWE, the Japanese triad, I like to call it. And very well, we might see all of the former Damage Control tonight, Ash, lead with gold.
Io and Kabuki, where's that? Wouldn't that be something?
And we also are looking at, of course, we saw the NXT Women's Championship earlier. Asuka and Kairi Sane are both former NXT Women's Champions. In fact, Asuka is still undefeated in NXT. Vacated the title after 526 days.
I think also Asuka might have another undefeated streak going for her because I don't think she's ever lost the ladder match.
I believe you are correct there, actually, considering how often she's actually been involved in it, which is very little. Of course, it's not for ladders aren't involved here, but it is a fatal four-way, which means there are no disqualifications. And of course, Asuka, formerly known as Kana, for those that know her in a past life, she survived a bout with Minoru Suzuki.
Like this woman knows how to take a beating, doesn't she?
And give it.
Right? She can dish and take it.
Teaming together for the first time since Backlash last year.
Man, that's nice seeing Asuka again. I missed her.
Well, again, she injured her knee, so it's very good to see Asuka here back once more. But they have a hell of a force to deal with in the former Delta from Australia. And trust me, she is from Australia because Rhea Ripley influenced her at a WWE trials along with Grayson Waller. I'm, of course, talking about Zarya. Look at this freaking Goliath. And hang time, we're going to Saruka. How about polarizing opposites?
Right? Although, as the saying goes, opposites do attract.
Of course, NXT Women's North American Champion, by the way, still. Hang 10. Saruka, of course, successfully retaining that against Izzi Dame. And, of course, Zarya and Saruka coming in here representing NXT. We saw, of course, at Great American Bash, as well as previously at Battleground, how much Zarya has gone to bat for Saruka. Of course, Saruka has been turning minds all the time here, Ash, since being here in NXT. And she is the WWE Women's Speed Champion, if that title actually means anything, which it doesn't.
I mean,
Just
it's a title.
Tie my ass.
It's a title. It exists.
Ash, it's not even for 50 minutes of fame and glory. It's 3 minutes of social media showcasing. Let's just call it what it is.
To be fair,
Go ahead.
I have heard some good things about Speed, though.
There's not a whole lot good of social media, but you can say there's a whole lot of good when it comes to the pedigree of this competitor. All hail the queen. You want to talk about evolution of women's wrestling in WWE? Here's your status quo. Charlotte Flair.
Say what you will about Charlotte, but when it comes to like the big stages, she delivers.
She's a big match player. She was born for greatness, born in this business. Ric Flair's daughter.
Right.
And of course, Charlotte Flair and her partner Alexa Bliss are no strangers to these WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, but they never won these titles together.
Yeah, this is the odd pairing of a tag team if I ever seen one for the women.
Right? And of course, Alexa Bliss, also a former Miss Money in the Bank and Raw Women's Champion. 19 combined world championships, though, with these two women. Alexa Bliss, a former 3-time Women's Tag Team Champion. Charlotte Flair, former 1-time Tag Team Champion. Charlotte Flair was formerly the Women's Tag Team Champion alongside Asuka during the pandemic. While, of course, Alexa Bliss is formerly the Women's Tag Team Champion alongside Nikki Cross. It is one of those things, though, where Charlotte Flair might be isolated on her own island of pedigree. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair needs a friend with to bat for her. And also, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, they're the only ones who have qualified for this contest.
Yeah, why is that? Why were they the only ones who had to qualify, but no one else?
I still don't understand. Of course, they beat the Secret Harvest, Alba Fire, and Piper Niven, and Meacham, and BFAB to earn this opportunity to be competing at Evolution for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Of course, Alexa Bliss has been heavily influenced by Charlotte Flair. Then again, in this business, whether good or bad, who hasn't been influenced or affected by Charlotte Flair? Charlotte Flair, of course, also is the person to stop Asuka's undefeated streak. Let's forget WrestleMania 34.
Yeah, WrestleMania, yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say, that was a big show in itself.
I get why they did it, but they really didn't have to.
Well, do you think that Finn Balor had to give Roxanne Perez the Women's Tag Team Championship as the Judgment Day comes out defending it? It is one of those things, though. I will say this about Roxanne Perez, that she's no stranger to the Women's Tag Team Championship. Of course, winning it back in NXT alongside Elena Black before breaking out into her own, becoming the face of NXT for the better part of the year. And the Prodigy has done everything with every opportunity she's been given.
I like the dynamic we have. We have two mismatched two odd pairing tag teams and two tag teams that actually been working together as the cohesive unit. Even though Delta and Zarya were just like were paired up, but they worked together as one cohesive unit despite not teaming them forever.
Yeah, it was one of those things where sometimes you just find that unique chemistry out of nowhere. And we'll see if Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez can find that tonight. Of course, we've seen Roxanne go to bat for Raquel and the Judgment Day, while Liv Morgan is out indefinitely due to shoulder injury. Judgment Day comes in there still defending Women's Tag Team Champions, of course. And of course, first pinfall submission inside the ring, you are the Women's Tag Team Champions. Again, there is no disqualification. Very unique dynamics here. Of course, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions have been held by the likes of the Icons, the only team that mattered to me ever holding those titles, if I'm being perfectly honest. Toxic Attraction, Bayley, and Sasha Banks, just to name a few. Well, the bell rings, and we're underway, and this also might be an interesting fact, Ash. If Roxanne and Raquel lose, they would have the shortest reign ever in these titles' history.
Oh, was that for how many days?
I don't think it's even been probably 30 days, if I'm being honest with you.
Oh, wow.
Right. Swing and a miss, spinning back fist denied, spinning Sova, turning around. And right now, Roxanne slapping the face to Kairi Sane.
Doing a little bit of trash talking.
Well, again, Roxanne's developed this newfound attitude all the way back in NXT, where she literally cracked under the pressure of her own anxiety against Michael Satomura, and then went on to become a cover now, roll up, went on to become one of the longest, notorious NXT Women's Champions. And of course, performing in Money in the Bank, in the Royal Rumble, and of course, in the Women's Elimination Chamber. The Prodigy has done everything in WWE. Of course, former Women of Honor champion. Roxanne, Perez, and Raquel Rodriguez have been the Women's Tag Team Champions now, folks, for 14 days.
Wow, that's really short.
Yeah, think. And technically, this is their first defense.
So you're hoping that if the Roxanne does retain, do you think she proves herself to Judgment Day?
Well, I mean, she's already, I think, proved herself to Finn Balor. Let's not forget, she was an influence in Finn Balor and JD McDonough winning the WWE Tag Team Championships from the New Day, as if they did anything with them during their hero run. Now Raquel, and of course, compared by the likes of Chyna and Big Daddy Cool Diesel, one of the strongest pound-for-pound women in WWE, who, of course, beat Rhea Ripley in Last Woman Standing, former NXT Women's Champion. Oh! The power of Raquel just scooping Kairi and planting her. Judgment Day, by the way, folks, are the 33rd Women's Tag Team Champions in these titles' history. The first champions was the Boss and Hug Connection back in 2019. And they held them for 49 days. Raquel right now is just running roughshod here, Ash.
Yeah, it's just showing at that immense power of hers.
And we'll see right now how well Raquel and Roxanne work together. Of course, one of the longest reigns for these titles was actually Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, who held it for 126 days, slightly longer than Damage Control, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky, who held them for 114.
Oh, Alexa Bliss with the sneak tag.
Well, that's one of the things also about this four-way. Anyone can tag in at any time. Only 2 women are legal at the same time. STO by Alexa Bliss, the 4-time Women's World Champion. Oh, man. Just let the taste out of her mouth. Rolling forward with the senton. Of course, that cheerleading background coming into play for Little Miss Bliss. Influenced by The Fiend, the late, great Bray Wyatt. Still with Tilly, I see. And right now, Zarya makes the tag. Oh, boy. This is bad for everybody. Except me. I like
especially for Alexa Bliss right now.
And yes, Kate Rare, Roxanne was trained by the Reality of Wrestling, also a new Texas Pro champion. I'm been a fan of Roxy, ever since she faced Killer Kelly. Alexa Bliss, that's not going to work. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. But this is a definition of a mismatch, to say the least.
You talk about
up in the fireman's carry, overhead military. Alexa Bliss giving us
was able to get out, though.
That's a smart move with the chop block here. Bring the opponent on your level. Went for the DDT, but Zarya just too damn strong. And now hooking up Alexa Bliss in the stalling vertical. Look at this. Walking around with her tag made by Soruka. Oh, and planted face first. And so springs him with the X Factor. Soruka face first on Bliss. Cover back press and a 2 counts. And I got to give Soruka credit right now. This is her 3rd match in 48 hours.
Oh, wow. She's a bit of a workhorse, isn't she?
Yeah, definitely. And trying to make a tag. And, of course, right now, spinning around. Airplane spin. Around and around. Face first goes to Limits Blitz again. Jackknife float over by Soruka. That background, of course, in 2 men. Also a Surfer Girl. Big forearm smash. But Enziguri. Rock Soruka toward the champ's corner. Tap made by Raquel Rodriguez.
Oh, man. I'm going to see Raquel and Zarya go at it.
You and me both. Alexa Bliss sent in Judgment Day's corner. Squashed by Raquel, though. And right now, Roxanne and Raquel have regained control of this match, isolating Alexa Bliss. Oh, went for that boot out of the way.
I was about to say, Roxanne and Raquel have been doing good teamwork together.
And no kidding. And Charlotte Flair are now in the fray. And again, right now, we've seen Charlotte Flair compete and get above everybody in every capacity. The only ugly Charlotte Flair hasn't had her career is Miss Money in the Bank. And right now, teeing off. And right now, Charlotte Flair lining up Raquel. This crowd electric for the Queen. Forward cartwheel, clothesline, takes down Raquel.
Showing that gymnastics background of hers.
And of course, Charlotte Flair disciplined in so many athletics. And again, the power on display. Far away, Flair sending Roxanne for the ride and a kip up. This crowd has literally gotten fired up since Charlotte Flair's coming to play. Much love shown to the homecomer. Up and over goes Raquel the outside. Big boot to Zarya, though.
Oh, here comes Roxanne.
But the roll up on Charlotte Flair gets a 2
almost
count.
got her there.
Let's not forget Charlotte Flair eliminated Roxanne to win this year's Women's Royal Rumble.
Oh,
Spear!
wicked spear.
Should have covered by Charlotte.
Must have cut Roxanne in half.
Oh, good Lord. Look at the spear, by the way. Boom! Cut Roxanne in half. Put her up like an accordion. But it wasn't quite a tight pin there, Ash. And big Charlotte Flair right now is just getting warmed up. This honestly might be the most confident and composed Charlotte Flair has been since her return. And that goes to the strength and love of a hometown crowd. Now looking for the figure for a leg lock. Raquel, though, with the big boot.
The save.
And again, Raquel coming to the aid of Roxanne, even if it's out of happenstance. Asuka hands up! Shotgun drop kick, wipes out Raquel. Now Asuka coming in here. Oh, here we go. Sean and Asuka. German suplex. These two again going all the way back to WrestleMania 34. German suplex, so Ruka sent for the ride.
Asuka just going through a suplex rampage, it seemed like.
And
now she's just like unloading on Roxanne.
No kidding. Good grief. Asuka fired up.
We want to talk about strikers. Asuka's like one of the best strikers in the game for the female division, is she not?
Absolutely. Of course, that kickboxing background coming into play. Combination by the Kabuki words and broken up by Delta as Kairi was going for the cover on Roxanne. Now Roxanne dragged to Saruka's corner and a tag made by Zarya. I believe Zarya and Kairi Sane right now are legal. Things have broken down here quite a bit here, Ash.
Yes, her and Charlotte is the legal person, yeah?
Well, right now we got 3 women in the ring. Kabuki Warriors teeing off against Zarya. Ad skip, we're going down to her knees. Double thrust kick takes Zarya down.
Nice double team sequences from the Kabuki Warriors.
Well, it goes back to that familiarity that follows Kairi Sane argument before WWE. Of course, the Pirate Princess, former IWGP Women's Champion as well. Nice. Look at the power of Zarya taking both over with the double suplex. Now Saruka with the tag, looking to fly high. And look at the double team here. Look at that.
That was nice.
And stand, twisting splash. Oh, and Charlotte Flair breaks up the file. And man, things have gotten really chaotic here. Zarya taking down Saruka.
Oh my God.
So snatching to Charlotte Flair. Cover her, cover her. And Charlotte Flair over there. That's like, oh boy. Now Alexa Bliss, it looks like we're paying that's on SmackDown. Now man, Alexa Bliss and Saruka legal. Alexa, hold that fun, Ash. Oh, nope. Sister Abigail standing, switch exchange.
I was about to say, this match got so chaotic, I forgot who's legal.
Right? Uh-oh. Look at this. Look at this. 3-point stance by the former rugby player. Zarya targeting Bliss. Saruka setting her up. Backstabber. And
my God. Charlotte just in time for the save, and poor Zarya just broke Saruka in half.
Oh man, wow.
This is gonna cause some accidental dissension for the tag team, maybe.
That's the second time Zarya had speared Saruka. Let's forget. Zarya speared Saruka accidentally in a tag match that allowed Izzi Dame to pin the champion and get the title opportunity. And tag made by Raquel now. Tornado DDT by Little Miss Bliss. Swing and a miss. Clothesline wants out the Queen. Now Roxanne in play.
Speaking of Rocky, there's the Pop Rock.
Pop Rocks connects on Charlotte Flair. Raquel, the Judgment Day, in control now. So Ruka is literally out. And Raquel hoisting out Little Miss Bliss. Oh, boy. Uh-oh. I think she's about to go for it. What the hell? Whoa!
Down goes everyone.
Powerbomb under the pile on the outside. And the Judgment Day are isolated in the ring alone with Saruka and Zarya. And it looks like Raquel come out game plan. Torpe Suicida wipes the clean on the outside by Roxanne. Now Raquel hooking up Saruka, hoisted up. Uh-oh. One arm choke slam. Chocola bomb cover. 2. Judgment Day retains. Pinning Saruka. As most people probably guessed, the NXT team was going to fall. Well, again, for 14 days so far, and for their first defense as a team, Ash, and match as a team, I think Raquel and Roxanne look very strong here.
Yeah, I like these two as a team. I hope they continue running together.
And let's take a look at the replay here, Ash. This spear. Oh, no. Wipeout. Zarya breaking Saruka. The sub of the backstabber, though, and Charlotte Flair pulling Alexa Bliss out of harm's way, to your point. What does that say about Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair going forward?
I think we might find a new tag team.
And I think Charlotte Flair might finally have a friend in WWE. Meanwhile, Chocola Bomb, one arm choke slam, choke bomb. Raquel stacks up Saruka. Wipe out for NXT. Judgment Day retains.
This was a solid tag match. I love the double team moves each team did.
Yeah, there was some great synergy across the board here. At the end of the day, though, Judgment falls in favor of the Judgment Day. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez still WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And we got another WWE commercial break. Fuck their service.
It makes you wonder, well, who's next for Judgment Day and what's going to happen between Zarya and Saruka going down in NXT.
Well, I mean, we know Saruka is still the NXT Women's North American Champion, and her and Zarya still have that unique chemistry as friendship. And sometimes in wrestling matches, tag team matches, there is that miscommunication. And it wasn't like Zarya could stop herself. She was going full throttle.
Yeah,
Bliss set to rise. It was the last split second, to your point. Charlotte pulled Bliss out of the way. Dadgum.
Yeah, Zarya has like so much momentum that she could not even stop.
Well, still, though, tremendous match here as WWE Evolution continues. And again, folks, Matthew, I also got both points, too. Again, great showing.
I got 1 point.
What? You got 1 point?
Yeah, I picked the Lyra to win for the IC title. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. I only got the 1 point because I also picked Jordan Grace to win. So I just got the 1 point.
I kid you not. If it wasn't for Great American Bash that I watched earlier today, I still probably would have picked Jordan Grace. But you had to figure if Fatal Influence lost last night, they were going to win here.
That's fair. Using what happened there.
Booking logic.
Yeah. I was about to say, basing off of recent events.
Exactly. Well, anyway, of course, W continues here at WWE Evolution. Of course, celebrating all the greats of women's professional wrestling in WWE, including, of course, Tori Wilson.
Oh, I got to meet Tori Wilson. Oh my God, she's so sweet.
And of course, Melina. No one does a split better than her. Who beat the likes of Beth Phoenix at one time, the former 3-time WWE Women's Champion. And a woman who's still very much an influence here as a producer in WWE, Ash, Mighty Molly Holly.
Oh, she was one of my favorites growing up. I absolutely loved Molly.
I mean, how can you not love Molly Holly? Of course, Hall of Famer, class of 2021.
I felt so bad when she had to shave her head, and there was just like you guys are so mean to her. Leave Molly alone.
Hey, she brought that on herself against Victoria. Victoria was not going to shave her head that night. Victoria is one of my all-time favorites, so justifiably she deserved it. All right, I stand by that.
Fair enough. Victoria was also one of my favorites too. I loved her crazy chick gimmick.
Well, I did crazy chicks in case people haven't figured that out by now. There's a reason why I like people like AJ Lee, for example, folks. I'll always take a woman in Chuck Taylors over high heels any day of the week. Anyway, that's all during conversation.
Thank God you didn't know me at the time.
Fair enough. Well, again, folks, Evolution continues here. And so far, Ash, We're 2 matches in, and we've had 2 retainments, or excuse me, we're 3 matches in, apologies, and we've had 3 titles not change hands with that formula tonight. All the champions may be having success.
It's possible foreshadowing, unless one of them is bound to change hands. But which one is it? Let's find out, shall we?
Well, still to come tonight, of course, the WWE Women's World Champion, the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Champion. We got a no-holds-barred match, as well as, of course, a battle royal to determine a new number contender for either championship. And they will get that match at Clash in Paris, as, of course, WWE Evolution continues celebrating women in wrestling, not just in the ring, but outside it, too. To someone in the comments earlier, Lillian Garcia might be the best woman announcer ever in the business. Still, in my opinion, the greatest rendition of our national anthem here in America. I still hold that she is the only one that truly holds a note strongest.
She has such a beautiful voice, doesn't she?
Yep.
And have you heard her sing in Spanish?
I have, actually.
Oh my God, it's so good, isn't it?
Yeah, you can check out her podcast as well. Of course, she's a Las Vegas native. Well, Ash, time to see if you're going to say thank you, Trish, or congratulations, Trish. It's time now for the WWE Women's Championship. How about a fashion disaster waiting to happen for one of these two? One of these two is going to leave with the gold. The other one is going to leave broke. Of course, right now, WWE brought to you by Maybelline. And of course, it's been Tippy time ever since Tiffany Stratton arrived on the main roster last year. It's been Tippy time worldwide, Ash.
It's Tippy time in all time zones.
Yeah, all over the world. Ever since winning Miss Money in the Bank last year against Chelsea Green and catching on the fridge Nia Jax, thankfully, and successfully holding on to that title against her in Last Woman Standing and going on to WrestleMania to beat the Queen Charlotte Flair. A dream match she wanted. Tiffany Stratton has made sure that Tippy time is all the time in WWE. With the prettiest moonsaults ever. But I do wonder, though, if Tiffany Stratton will endure some Stratus fashion tonight, because it's hard to argue, Ash, that Trish Stratus is the GOAT in WWE.
Oh, absolutely, because Trish has almost done it all. Like, everything that she can accomplish within her time, she's done it.
Perhaps the greatest to ever lace those boots that I thought retired back in 2019 when she lost to the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Of course, also took part in the first ever Evolution, tagging alongside her greatest rival and friend, Amy Dumas, Lita. As Tiffany Stratton presented this opportunity to her. Go ahead.
I was about to say, who did they go up against in that match again? Because I really enjoyed that tag match.
I'm about to say, I'm trying to remember, but it was such a long, I think it was Beth Phoenix and Natalya. But I'll have to double check that to be sure.
Because I don't know, for some reason, I thought Alexa Bliss was in that match.
Actually, I think you're right now that I think about it. I think it was
Alexa Bliss. But I can't remember who Bliss's partner was.
I think it was Mickie James, actually.
Hmm.
Yeah, no. It was Mickie James, Alicia Fox. That's
okay, that's who it was. Okay.
No wonder it's forgetful for me because I don't think about Alicia Fox. Anyway.
I will say this. She did a good job as a manager for Noam Dar. I really liked her with that. Those were such a unique pairing.
It was a weird pairing. Of course, one of my favorite matches of Trish Stratus was WrestleMania 19 in that triple threat, where, of course, she held the title, where she won the title, of course, that night against Victoria. I almost feel like we're looking at 1A and 1B when it comes to a blonde and effective female athlete in WWE. That's taking the world by storm, Ash.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Tiffany, ever since she got on the main roster, she broke the stigma of NXT person calling up not being as successful as she was in NXT.
Yeah, Tiffany Stratton, I think, came really to light when she won the NXT Women's Championship against Lara Valkyria at Battleground and went on an incredible run. But again, as you said, Trish Stratus has done it all and looks to have one more milestone. more important than ever, she wants to win a title in front of her children, as of course Trish Stratus is now a mother. So will it be Tiffy time or Trishy time? Time to find out tonight at Evolution. And I'm not going to lie, that is one of my favorite themes of all time. Screw you, Death Rebel. Thank Christ he didn't Death Rebel her. I stand by that. I'll fight by on that mountain.
Oh, I like how in the medallion is the women's title.
Former 7-time Women's World Champion, Hall of Fame Class 2013. And as I said earlier, competed at the first Evolution. And yeah, I'm about to say a good point there, Ash, as she's paying homage to the original Women's Championship.
Oh man, I love that title. Like sure, there wasn't that much women's wrestlers around the time I started watching it. So because that title didn't feel important, but oh my god, I love that.
In my opinion, Victoria, Lita, Trish Stratus were the only three to truly define that championship.
Mm-hmm.
Bring
it back to importance.
Exactly. I love this song. Well, what time is it, Ash?
It's Tiffy time.
Beverly Hills versus Canada. And Tiffany Stratton, of course, who's taking the world by storm, trained by the likes of Mr. Anderson, who favorably beat Nia Jax, is now going into her 191st day as women's champion in her 6th title defense. And we all know, Ash, this not only stems from that support in this dream and being encouraged by Trish. Trish and Tiffany were also successful at the Elimination Chamber against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae.
Tiffany is proving that she is more than a Barbie doll. She is a fighting champion. She is an action figure.
Wow, I love the fact you use that versus a doll, because that really goes to show the strength and the showcase of the women's division. I love that analogy. Jessica Carr, by the way, the official for this contest. Honestly, the leading WWE official.
That she's starting to wrestle, someone who looks like her is wrestling down in the world, right?
I've heard about that, yeah. Like El Generico at one point now, who's doing with Orphanage. Let's go down
and El Grande Americano, right?
Well, El Grande Americano, that's a different conversation. Let's go together for our introductions here. This, in my opinion, I'm excited for this from a legacy standpoint, if I'm being perfectly honest. This is going to be so cool.
We got the past versus the future here in the present.
Well said. From Toronto, Ontario, Canada, 49 years of age, 25 years earned in this game, Trish Stratus.
You can make the argument that Trish is the greatest women's wrestler of all time, not just in North America, but even worldwide. Or is that too much praise?
I mean, that's up to you, Ash. I'm not going to judge you.
Okay.
Tiffany Stratton at 26 years of age, and literally probably less than 3 years in the game, reigning, defending WWE Women's Undisputed Champion. Like you said yourself, the comparisons with Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus is like night and day. Perfect showcasing of the evolution of this women's division for more than just a pretty face.
Mm-hmm. That's what this women is all about. Like, not only were we pretty, but we're pretty dangerous and pretty deadly.
Bell reigns were underway. Tiffany Stratton, by the way, is the 30th WWE Women's Champion in this title's legacy, going all the way back to the first, to your point, Charlotte Flair in WrestleMania 32 in 2016. Of course, Trish Stratus was given this favor by Tiffany Stratton. You almost wonder, though, Trish Stratus was not necessarily humble, but insulted, because you almost wonder if Tiffany Stratton thinks that Trish Stratus I'm going to give you this chance, but I'm not going to take it easy on you, and I think that I can beat you. You almost wonder if Tiffany Stratton's underestimating Trish.
So Tiffany is underestimating Trish, or is Trish underestimating Tiffany?
I think Tiffany's underestimating Trish because Tiffany is the now, to your point, why Trish is the past. Remember what Tiffany said. This isn't the attitude era anymore.
Right? To her point, the attitude era for like women's wrestling was not the best, but I will say this. Trish was also part of the ruthless aggression era, and that's where she really showed her stride as a professional wrestler.
Damn it. Of course, against the likes of Jazz, Jacqueline, Victoria, Amy Dumas, her ultimate rival and friend, and of course, transcending beyond that to Mickie James. And right now, Tiffany Stratton just learned what Trish Stratus brings to the table 25 years later.
And she may be. Trish has not lost the steps. Like she hasn't been in the ring for a while, but it doesn't seem like it.
Of course, that yoga background is going to definitely come into play here because we all know Trish Stratus is extremely dynamic in her ring style. Tiffany Stratton, though, the hip attack, though, against the second rope to Trish Stratus. Covered now by Tiffany. Hook to the far leg. It's a 2 count by Jessica Carr. And again, you've been so impressed with Tiffany Stratton since you've seen her on the main roster. Did you see her work in NXT, Ash?
I wasn't watching NXT at the time. I was just going based off from what I've heard about her run and down there.
Yeah, again, I thought Tiffany Stratton was just another pretty face that Vince McMahon wanted to redefine the Divas era with, and she proved me dead wrong when she beat Lara Valkyria. Nice snap German there by Tiffany Stratton. Now bringing Trish Stratus onto the apron, still holding the head. And right now, Tiffany. Oy.
Oh, I think that was the counter.
And right now, Trish, the handstand, head scissors, sending Tiffany down the floor.
Wow, she's tumbled and she looked like she tumbled, but she stuck the landing there.
And well done, well executed there by the 7-time WWE Women's Champion who held that title that you see encrest on her, to your point, Ash, 828 days combined. Crowd chanting, you still got it. I would say never lost it.
Right?
And right now, Trish Stratus back in the ring with Tiffany. Swing and a miss by Tiffany. Hoisted up. Spinebuster. Covered now by Trish. Gets a 2 count. And let's keep in mind, Ash, the winner of this match has the queen of the ring waiting for them no matter what at SummerSlam. Jade Cargill.
Ooh. Jade versus Tiffany, I wouldn't mind that. Also, you know what? I wouldn't mind Jade versus Trish as well because I love the power dynamic. Because Trish is no stranger to battling monsters.
That's the truth. Back elbow strike. Victoria being one of those biggest monsters of her past.
And same with Jazz, the big powerhouse too.
Oh! Down goes Tiffany. Tornado DDT. Cover here with the far leg. It's a 2 count. Yeah, Trish Stratus, by the way, folks, stands at a statuesque, I believe, 5'9", 119 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's a tall girl. She's got 3 inches on me.
She's probably got at least that on Tiffany Stratton, if we're being quite honest here.
Yeah.
Of course, again, Tiffany Stratton, trained by the likes of Ken Anderson, as well as Sarah Model in the WWE Performance Center. Open palm strike there. And a receipt in kind by Trish Stratus. And both these women right now just lining each other up here. I like
just
this.
Both exchanging blows.
Ooh, big super kick takes Tiffany down. Or excuse me, Trish down.
Yeah.
Going through, again, her 6th defense tonight with wins over Bayley, Nia Jax 3 times, and Charlotte Flair.
Showing some of that athletic background of hers.
Back elbow strike in the corner with the continual moonsaults. Oh, and look at that mockery of Trish. Hoisting her up. Oh, wow.
Nice.
There, cover. Unique backbreaker. Gets a 2 count. Take a look at the replay here, Ash. A modified Falcon arrow of sorts into a backbreaker over the knees.
That was perfectly timed.
And right now, Tiffany Stratton in control of the GOAT, Trish Stratus. I can only imagine what Jeff motherfucking Meacham's thinking here.
Oh, Sunset Bomb, roll through.
Road kick! And Stratus with all that forward force of her boots into Trish's chest. And once again, Tiffany Stratton back on the attack. Ash now going up as high as the CN Tower. Up on the top rope. Is it Tiffany time? Beautiful swanton bomb. Cover to retain. Kick out two by Trish. Think about the impact of the swanton, though, Ash. Look at the lights.
Right? Oh, my God. That was beautiful.
Picture perfect by Tiffany Stratton. And right now, look at the prettiest moonsault. Well,
nicely scouted by Trish there.
A great scouting, of course, as Trish Stratus has seen it all from them all.
It's like she's no strangers to moonsault counters, especially with her feuds with Lita.
And look at this maneuver, looking for maybe some satisfaction, and Tiffany able to fend it off, though. And again, maybe the handstand, head scissors, takeover. Tiffany caught again. Now Stratus in control. Check.
That might have knocked her out.
No. Oh, I thought she had it.
Right? It's just like the way she like just swung at it, like, damn.
Proficient kick to the temple. That was one of her many titles.
There she comes. You're going to get that satisfaction?
Possibly. Nope. Tiffany counter.
Nicely countered there.
The fireman's carry. Steamroller.
For the moonsault?
Prettiest moon salt. No,
nice
got
counter there.
And beat her in now. Tiffany caught by Trish. Looking for the satisfaction. No. For the win. For the title.
Damn, Tiffany barely with the kick, barely on time with the kick out there.
Ooh, that was damn near close. Look at the replay here, Ash.
Beautiful sequence here. The counters.
Picture perfect satisfaction. Center of the ring. People are jumping out of their seats off that. 2 9/10.
Way too close for comfort there.
I thought Tiffany time was up. Trish Stratus, of course, who has been.
Want to go to the top rope herself now?
Well, I mean, hey, if you can't win out your own playbook, why not take someone out of your opponent's playbook?
Right.
And we don't usually see Trish Stratus go up to the top rope for this. Move for moonsault, I got the knees up. And now Tiffany,
with the kick of her own.
Well, right now trying to look for possibly hooking her up. Alabama Slammer. And let's try it again, Ash Prettiest. Moon, salt.
There it is.
Cover. 2. Tiffany retains.
This was a pretty solid match.
For anyone that thought that Trish Stratus was going to get a moment at the expense of Tiffany, you were sadly mistaken. Tiffany time is still very much alive. Tiffany Stratton still WWE Women's Champion. To your point, Ash, she just beat the GOAT of the past the same year, arguably against the GOAT of today's women's division. She has wins now over Charlotte Flair and Trish Stratus.
Like beating two of who many people argue is the greatest women's wrestler of all time.
And that prettiest moonsault ever was the seal that did the deal.
Tiffy time ain't up yet.
Tiffy time continues to ride high tonight at Evolution. Congratulations, Tiffany Stratton. Still WWE Women's Champion.
Yeah, I got 2 points.
Impressive performance by Tiffany Stratton. And I will say once again, thank you, Trish. Does make me wonder, though, Ash, will we see Trish Stratus again in the ring?
I hope so.
Championship.
I don't see her. Ooh, wait. Trish has never won the Intercon. Ooh, wouldn't that be something? Becky versus Trish for the IC title?
Well, we all know the fall from their history. As you see, Tiffany Stratton left Trish Stratus the ring. 25 years earned, Trish. A woman that pioneered this evolution that we have today, Ash. There's no denying that.
No, absolutely.
And the crowd giving her a standing ovation, and rightfully so.
Man, like what Trish has done for this business, not just for like women's wrestling, but for wrestling in general.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Definitely one of my biggest influences in women's wrestling. At a time that I thought WWE was the definition of underwhelming. And we'll see if we'll see Trish Stratus compete at this high level again in the future. Who knows? Regardless, there always will be 100% satisfaction guaranteed thanks to her.
Absolutely, yeah. No refunds needed. No refunds necessary.
And no kidding there. Well, again, so far, a great match and a great night. And again, Ash, all champions have retained.
For the time being.
Well, I mean, again, we still have the one match I think that's going to be the most polarizing to that status quo. Well, as again, folks, we're here covering WWE Evolution. Stay tuned. The WWE Watch On schedule is not going to stop anytime soon. And we'll be going to war for Survivor Series War Games in San Diego this November. Of course, as the Thanksgiving tradition that's been going on since 1992. And you see this past Friday, we got a little bit of spotlight here. Rey Mysterio, the WWE Hall of Famer, throwing out the first pitch for the Padres. Who, of course, was in San Diego, his stomping grounds. For the very first time, Survivor Series comes to us from Petco Park. Survivor Series War Games, Ash, once again.
In the baseball stadium, interesting.
And an outdoor Survivor Series for War Games, nonetheless.
Yeah, how's that going to work out?
I guess we'll find out. Because talk about Trailblazers and WWE Hall of Famers, there you see the WWF Women's Champion, Medusa, better known as Alundra Blaze.
And there she is with that title.
The title that she once threw away in a trash can. And of course, they battled that woman who held the women's title, one-time world champion, Kelani Kai. Who was involved, I believe, at the very first WrestleMania. I want to give a special thank you, by the way, to a song that's not Def Rebel and actually seems tolerable for the night. Tombstone Town by Outlaw Country Remix, Dorothy featuring Lainey Gardner and Slash. Honestly, one of the better W official themes I've heard in a long damn time, not by the weekend. All the stars are out tonight, male and female wise. Of course, WWE transcends the world of pop culture and entertainment. We got Metro Boomin here, multi-platinum, three-time Grammy Award-winning platinum artist, as well as Lil Yachty, multi-platinum rapper and singer. I think he knows more about these people than I do. Get some female people out here. What about Vanessa Hudgens or somebody? Who cares about these guys? Well, speaking of caring about matters, how about this matter, Ash? Let's go ahead and get personal with three bitches in their own right. The trinity that fell apart. Jade Cargill, Naomi, no holds barred. And your special guest referee is the EST, Bianca Belair. As, of course, we have another little cold opener here and preview. I mean, Ash, we didn't really talk about this, but what do you think about this fallout and this match where we know no matter what, both women have world title opportunities on the line? Jade is guaranteed, Naomi is controlled, but the EST controls the result of the outcome tonight between these two rivals.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, how is she gonna play into a factor, because she has like torn emotions as well, especially with the fallout between Naomi and Jade Cargill. Because Bianca is like trying to explain, get to Naomi, like why she did what she did.
Well, I mean, again, Naomi felt like the third wheel. She says she did it for her and Bianca. She took out Jade Cargill last year on that hood of the car. And again, Bianca didn't want to deal with that. Bianca thought she was going to rule WWE with two close friends. And I don't know at this point, Bianca Belair is friends with either one of these two at this point. And of course, Jade Cargill came back like a bat of hell. Hell of no fear, like a woman scorned.
Why
Nearly
just
breaking Naomi's neck at the Elimination
exactly
Chamber.
just destroying her at Elimination Chamber?
I have not seen a lethal assault like that by a woman of that caliber a long damn time in this business. And of course, the jury is out whether or not Jade Cargill belongs in this spot. Ash, of course, the queen of the ring who won at Night of Champions against Asuka, but still has been constantly booed out the building. And it's almost like it fuels her. That hatred fuels her, much like the self-envy of Naomi fuels herself.
Right. Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Naomi's still assaulting her.
It's like Naomi's not going to stop until Jade can no longer move, which is why we have a no-holds-barred match.
Well, we know these two are not going to compete with any decorum. And of course, the EST of WWE trailblazed the path before Jade Cargill right in WWE, and in my opinion, surpassed Naomi. Why do I feel like a fix is in tonight? I really have a deep, dark, dangerous suspicion about this match.
Ooh, what is the suspicion?
Well, again, is the past the past? Is the friendship still there with Naomi and Bianca Belair? Or with Jade Cargill coming in, did Jade Cargill become more of an important influence with Bianca Belair? Let's not forget, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair were forced to be reckoned with as the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions 2 times over. Naomi has had butt kicks since coming back home to WWE before she inserted herself in this trinity and then made it about her and Bianca only. Now, for the first time since being in WWE, Naomi has an opportunity to shine above beyond Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. But I still wonder if Naomi wants to be shining alongside Bianca or wants to now embarrass Bianca as well as Jade Cargill.
That's true, because we don't know what Naomi's intentions are right now.
And I truly don't know where Bianca stands, because not only has Bianca been in emotional turmoil with 2 men she first looked at as friends, she also lost at WrestleMania. We haven't seen the EST since WrestleMania. And tonight, she's the special guest referee. This is going to get violent.
Oh, absolutely. Or as violent as it can be for a WWE show.
Well, we're also dealing with a unique class of women here, if you catch my drift. So
That's true, yeah.
At least not brought to you by Wingstop.
Right? Oh my god.
Stereotyping. What? I didn't say anything.
Yeah, no kidding.
I didn't say anything. Anyway, here comes the EST of WWE. Bianca Belair, of course, our special guest referee tonight, former Raw, SmackDown Women's Champion, calls herself the greatest, the fastest, the strongest, the smartest. But Ash, will she be tonight the fairest? Can she be impartial and unbiased?
That is up to determine as the match progresses whenever it starts. And this is Bianca's second time officiating this year.
And that is correct. Of course, we saw the fall with her, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley. Whether or not Bianca Belair is better than Rhea Ripley remains to be answered, because we have yet to see these two go one-on-one in WWE. But the EST has absolutely done everything. A former 2-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, a Royal Rumble winner, Elimination Chamber winner, 2-time WWE Women's Champion, and of course, a former WWE Raw Women's Champion and SmackDown Women's Champion. She held that Raw Women's Championship for 420 days.
Mm-hmm. That's quite the long. That was her first run, right?
Her first and only run with that instance of that title. Well, here comes Naomi. Proceed with caution indeed. Underappreciated, third wheel, too kind. But are you also going to call her soon enough your next WWE Women's Champion? Miss Money in the Bank.
That's a possibility as well, yeah.
Of course, Trinity, former TNA Knockouts World Champion. As we saw earlier, Mojo Slams defend TNA and the Knockouts title against Jessie Jane of NXT after Blake Monroe screwed Jordan Grace. I do wonder this, though. What is Naomi's MO? Because we didn't see her go after Tiffany Stratton to try and cash in. We've already seen that World Championship match happen. So right now, is she looking to hurt Jade Cargill or survive her? This is a WrestleMania rematch, Ash. Jade Cargill owns a pinfall victory over Naomi.
That she does. I think Naomi's just like looking to like hurt, humiliate, and embarrass Jade Cargill.
Now we'll see what happens here soon. And of course, Evolution is presented by the first ever cosmetic partner of WWE, Maybelline New York. That's a hell of a status quo for this company. Dadgum. Of course, the Studios bringing you the alternative watch-along commentary coverage here. If you haven't already, subscribe to our Canadian friend Ash at Bad for Wrestling or follow her at Channel Badass on the X. Don't be a dickhead. Again, subscribe to Bad for Wrestling. Stay tuned for more coverage on AEW and NJPW. But in the meantime, Ash, a storm is coming. Oh boy.
Proceed with caution indeed with the storm, because we
might have a natural disaster on our hands tonight.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or a beautiful disaster. You be the judge.
Or both.
That's fair. Look at this figure.
Right. Oh my God. This.
Good Lord. How about chiseled out of sapphire?
Right.
Jade Cargill, of course, the still longest ever reigning AEW TBS champion. But of course, more importantly, this year, she is this year's Queen of the Ring. And no matter this result, she is guaranteed to challenge Tiffany Stratton now at SummerSlam for the WWE Women's Championship. But I do wonder, Ash, will Naomi...
Oh, here it comes.
And, oh, well, I don't need to say anything else.
Right? They're just like going straight at it.
I shouldn't be surprised by this. I'm not one bit.
Right? Can you blame Jade Cargill for just wanting to just go at her right away? And same with Naomi.
Well, I mean, you saw what happened last night on Saturday's main event, as we heard. Naomi assaulted Jade Cargill again. That's why Nick Aldis inserted the EST of the WWE in this as the special guest referee, because she's so familiar with these two.
Mm-hmm.
Again, no countouts, no disqualifications. Pinfall or submission has to happen inside the ring.
It's just Braun Pierce, Kathy Kelly.
Yeah, right? And right now, Jade Cargill looking to hoist up Naomi, positive for a Jade and still ring steps. Naomi counter, though. Face first goes Jade in the still ring steps. I do wonder, though, again, will Bianca Belair insert herself in this match physically in any way?
If it gets out of control, she might have to.
A kendo stick now coming into play. And Naomi swinging a miss. Get to the midsection by Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill again, who beat Asuka to be this year's Queen of the Ring. Snap German on the floor and a beautiful kip up by Jade Cargill. And Jade Cargill, of course, who is heavily founded in this world of sports, if you know her family. But she's only been involved in wrestling now for 4 years with a background in basketball. Now bringing the lumber out. Table coming out of play now. Is it me or does that table look longer?
It does, yeah. I'm going to see the Slim Jim on it.
God, don't get me started with that bullshit. I hate. These maybe they would make more sense here for the night. You see right now, Bianca Belair checking on Naomi, but I also wonder, is she trying to counsel her? Like, why would you do this? Why are you doing this? You got the Money in the Bank contract. Let this go. You don't need to do this.
Right? Oh, there it is.
Oh, bloody freaking hell. I'm going to rant. No, I'm not. This night's about not about that. It's about the women.
It makes sense for the Slim Jim to be on the table because you snap the table like you snap into a Slim Jim.
It's tacky as shit. And I stand by that.
It is marketing. That's what it is.
Marketing is the flaw of WWE's definition of wrestling. And I stand by that.
We live in a capitalist society.
Hey, now Naomi in control. Freaking capitalistic bullshit. Oh, sorry. I'm trying my best here, but there's just some quirks of this that's just
Oh no, she's got the chair.
I don't think she's only going to use one chair.
No, she's going to grab multiple.
What the
Because
hell?
she wants to hurt Jade.
Well, I mean, again, the only thing that limits you here is your imagination. And Naomi bringing a trash can. Now, who knows what the future holds for both these women on the other side of this match and what their condition will be. And Naomi scouting Jade.
Oh, here.
Golly. Talk about the whiplash effect, the impact to Naomi. Now brings Naomi back inside the ring.
In the toolbox.
What the hell? Toolbox. I can only imagine inside that. And right now, Naomi with a steel chair. Positioning center of the ring. Oh, what a high kick. Rocks Jade Cargill. And Naomi right now, of course, former cheerleader.
First.
Surprised me doesn't go. Now she goes to the cover, sits in it. Bianca in position, gets a 2 count. Now, I gotta say, good pace, by the way, by Bianca on that count. Not showing any favoritism or any sense of, I would say maybe, worry, concern, or, animosity towards either of these two, particularly Naomi.
Trying to be fair and balanced as possible in this match.
And Naomi right now pulling out looks like a steel chain from that toolbox. What is she looking to do here with that? I didn't know that was inside that toolbox, honestly. And use it right now. To her advantage. Brace across the jawline of Jade Cargill, looking to give her forced braces. Ribbon across the skin. And right now, Jade trying to fight back here, though.
Using all that strength of hers, power up.
And right now, Naomi trying to fight back. But again, Jade here, though, might be the one to overpower her and does so. And Jade right now creating separation here, looking to capitalize.
Oh, she's got the chain now, too.
Oh, boy. Well, instrument of your own destruction. A victim of your own sins. That might be the tail of the tape here for Naomi tonight, once again. That's a loaded fist right now. That steel chain wrapped around. Oh, man!
With it.
Man, cold cocked her with that.
What she's got the camera.
Cargill just grabbed the camera to your point. I think he's looking to give Naomi a close-up. Oh.
Yeah, I'm ready
personal. That camera's got to be worth like thousands of dollars. That might come out of her payroll. And Jade Cargill right now in control of Naomi. Looking to take out the trash. Quite literally. Put the trash can on top of Naomi. Uh-oh. And Jade now. Boom! And a drop kick! The bicycle act. The bicycle. Good Lord. Well, you can't see it, but you sure as hell can feel it.
Right? Especially like just ricocheting off that kick from the inside of the trash can.
Now Jade Cargill with a toolbox in it.
Are you gonna throw the toolbox on?
Oh no! Oh no! Oh my gosh!
Oh my god! That would have been so bad that it landed.
I feel like Naomi literally saw her life flash before her eyes in that moment.
Right?
And driving Jade back first into the apron. And now Cargill being sent across the announce table. Good grief. Of the sharp edges of that solid steel toolbox. If that would have hit the chest of Naomi, she would have been lucky to freaking be able to cash in anytime soon. Oh my God! Whoa! Right into their TV monitor in the front. The drop kick. Jade Cargill's head bouncing off that screen.
Just like she did with the windshield of the car.
Good point there, Ash. Holy hell. You see Bianca Belair. Check out the replay here. You see the drop kick here into the side of Jade Cargill. Thrusted through that LED monitor. Monitor exploding on impact.
And here that is another table being set up.
Might have got short some execution there if she wasn't careful. Cargill's barely moved, though. Allowing Naomi to do more damage or come up with more devious mindsets. The devious, dangerous imagination of this unhinged Naomi has been a force to be reckoned with, and Jade Cargill's worst nightmare.
I don't think Naomi was gonna make sure that Jade's unable to compete at SummerSlam.
You saw Bianca over there checking on the well-being of Jade Cargill, who I still feel like Bianca looks at more as a friend than Naomi at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know Jade's not going to quit. And right now, oh my God!
Eyeball.
Into the table, they to your point, Jade Cargill protecting her vision for her life. Talk about literally trying to take an eye.
Damn, it's like, I mean, I know eye for an eye, but goddamn.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to go literal with that.
Right?
Again, Naomi thinks this is all a joke. She's having fun out here. A high kick, though, by Naomi rocks Jade. Now Jay suspended on the apron. Taker!
Just planted her on the apron.
Good grief, this may be over. Too bad it's not last woman standing.
Right. Oh my God, that would have been something. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing these two go at it in the last woman standing match. That would have been pretty sweet.
Yeah, far more aggressive nature coming out of Naomi tonight versus their encounter at WrestleMania.
Yeah, Naomi means business. She just wants to hurt Jade at any cost.
And off the apron through the table goes Cargill to the floor with the chair shot to the face. But you gotta get Cargill back inside the ring. Pinfall is going to be rendered inside the ring. And right now, Naomi's still stewing over that loss at WrestleMania. Hell-bent to do anything to break Jade Cargill. Face first on the chair.
Onto the chair.
Coming out by Naomi.
And then the kicks out.
That was a very sluggish, slow, weak kick out by Jade Cargill, though, Ash. Take a look at the replay here. The chair pushing the Jade and gravity doing the rest of the work. I would say that Naomi has hindered Jade's body more in this match than Jade has Naomi.
Right? And Jade's just like kicking out on instinct.
Well, again, the thing is, though, Cargill's got the guaranteed title opportunity. Why continue to perverse through this punishment? Just let Naomi feel good and move on to something better. You got 3 weeks literally before you got to face Timothy Stratton. Ain't that crazy? 3 weeks before SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Oof. A slap in the face by Naomi to Jade Cargill. Naomi setting Jade up on a table inside the ring. And now a chair set on top of Jade. This is not going to end well.
Yeah, she's just really looking to punish Jade unless Jade somehow can find her to move.
Naomi right now with the ascent to your place.
Just whacks her with the chair.
To the spine. Naomi felt it but didn't see it. Now Jade Cargill up to the second rope.
Is she going to go for Jade through the table?
And as I think you're right, I think Naomi is about to get from the top rope through a table. Face first.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Cover. Jade Cargill with the win.
That was a nice way to finish the match. I feel it went a little too short for my liking, though. They could have went a bit longer.
It felt like I was watching something a bit on slow motion, but if nothing else, it was a performance of perseverance by Jade Cargill, overcoming the animosity of Naomi, might have buzzed her nose in the process. Jade Cargill stands tall tonight at Evolution. The queen of the ring reigns supreme, and once again puts Naomi underneath her. Again, Naomi just took just too long, Ash, to your point, and paid the ultimate price. Jaded face first through the announce table, and Bianca counted to 3. As I said, Jade Cargill has all the momentum in the world ahead of SummerSlam. Naomi, maybe you need to proceed with caution.
Right?
Bianca reluctantly hoisting the arm of Jade Cargill. And again, is Bianca happy? Is Bianca at peace? Can we move away from this rivalry? Jade Cargill to win tonight, Evolution. Good grief. We got another WWE marketing advertising commercial break. Fuck this service.
It could be over for Jade, but Naomi, on the other hand, could be a whole different story.
Well, again, Jade Cargill, she's going to the biggest part of the summer. Naomi can interrupt that. How hell-bent is Naomi to not just break Jade, but maybe prevent her from ever being a WWE Women's Champion? I'm fear that this is not done yet.
No, absolutely not. Because it ain't gonna. It ain't over until Naomi says it's over.
Unfortunately. And again, Bianca Belair, I do wonder what's next for the EST with no way towards a championship, it seems right now.
What brand is Bianca on?
Monday Night Raw.
Okay. I was about to say maybe she can challenge for whoever's the United States champion for the women's side. Unless she gets involved with the IC title, because Becky could use some challengers and we can run back the feud with Becky and Bianca.
Well, again, though, Ash, what's the one match everyone's been clamoring for, including Bianca Belair? The
Bianca
EST versus Mommy. And we still have the Women's Heavyweight Championship on the line. But before we get there, time to get a full showcase of the depth of this division. It's a battle royale where a winner will earn a championship match at Clash of Paris. Oh, look at this field. Giulia, Meacham, we got Chelsea Green, Nikki Bella, the fridge. Nia Jax.
Match. Nice.
Last Legend, again, over 18 women will be involved in this battle royale coming up here shortly.
Now, do they all get entrances? Because I would like that.
Well, I feel like WWE is going to underwhelm this, if I'm being honest here. But still, I wish all the best to all these incredible women in this opportunity, because you very well might see one of these women on Monday Night Raw literally call their shot and call out the champion. Speaking of calling their shot, there will be a gauntlet match this Monday to figure out who Gooper will defend, thank Christ, the World Heavyweight Championship against at SummerSlam. But let's go ahead and focus on this. Let's go to Alicia Taylor. This should be fun. Again, over the top rope battle royal rules. Both feet hit the floor. You are eliminated.
Oh,
here comes possibly not just Caitlyn, but any casual fan's favorite, Nikki Bella. Kind of poetic how the WWE Hall of Famer comes out first, Ash. Also, Lash, also Evolution main eventer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She main evented against Ronda Rousey for that women's title, right?
That's right. You want to talk about people that trailblaze a path in WWE, talk about where divas were not given enough of a chance. Nikki Bella was at the forefront of that.
Proving, like, as the evolution came around, she began to prove that she's more than just a pretty face. She can hang with them, and she gotten better and improved as the years progressed.
And Nikki Bella stands 41 years of age, 12 years in the game, looking to prove something in this day and age in WWE, Ash. At one point, we wasn't sure if she was ever going to compete again because of her neck. But here she is now at Evolution. So look, you're United States champion! Even though you don't have a title, damn it! In the hot mess I trust, Chelsea Green for the win! I'm sorry.
It's okay.
What? I didn't say anything. Chelsea Green, of course, the inaugural WWE United States champion, making history at Saturday night's main event. The hot mess. Former Laura Vaness, TNA Knockouts world champion, one of the best to come out of Canada. Definitely always part of the conversation with her secret Hervis. And Chelsea Green looking to punch her ticket to the fashion capital of the world for a world championship. I still say Secret Hervis should have been involved in the match earlier, but it's a whole different conversation.
Oh, for the tag titles, yeah.
But I do find it interesting, though. What if it comes down to Chelsea Green versus Nikki Bella?
Oh my God, wouldn't that'd be boy.
I'm a little bit excited. I'm a little bit more excited now. The aspect of these two going one-on-one. Honestly, I want to kind of see that.
I'd be down for that too. Especially like the banter between these two, because these two know how to trash talk.
Yeah, of course. And of course, the Secret Hervis protecting Chelsea Green again. Salute your United States hero. Screw the person in office. Chelsea Green for president. I'm not trying to be political. Anyway, Nikki Bella, by the way, folks, for those that don't know, is a two-time WWE Divas champion, held the title for 307 days total. And you want to talk about locker room leader for generations? Here comes somebody highly underrated that has told the rest of the wrestling world, I am the living legend from Canada, Natalya. I mean, Ash, you may not know Bret the Hitman Hart, but come on, Ash, you gotta know about Natalya. And
I do. I love Natalya. She was during the Divas era. I was so happy when she became Divas champion. I was like, oh, cool, sweet, she's champion finally.
Well, it looks like so far. Oh God, Walter's gonna lose his shit. Grand Theft Auto. Okay, fine, I'll be nice. Key player of the NXT Women's Division, former all-collegiate volleyball player Jaida Parker. And speaking of a trick, here comes Mrs. Trick, Lash Legend. Lash Legend, of course, also with a background in basketball before coming into WWE. Man, look at the showcase of all these women here. This is a hell of a dynamic field already.
Everyone's getting entrances. Oh, here comes another Mamacita Walters.
Oh, don't start that. Transitioning from MMA, Lola Vice, who, of course, is undefeated in NXT Underground.
Oh, nice.
With the fastest fist in the business. Former WWE Women's United States Champion, cosplayer extraordinaire, Zelina Vega. They got to fix that graphic. Botch. That should say former. Judgement should never lost, though. Judgement should never lost the title. I stand by that. Well, as they say, Kim doesn't miss. What about her? Here comes Kelani Jordan, the inaugural NXT Women's North American Champion. Such a bright rising star here. Oh, boy. This is a dark tone.
Is this Tatum Paxley?
That is exactly who that is. Representing the calling where she might have found a friend, quote unquote, in Izzi Dame, who's escorted. Oh, looks like both of them are involved here. Of course, Izzi Dame had an incredible effort against Soruka last night for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Who is this?
Is this B-Fab?
Oh, okay. I didn't know who the hell that was. Well, B-Fab, I mean, she's done stuff. I mean, come on. What else do I need to say about her? Let's be honest here.
Yeah. One of the last remaining of Hit Row.
At least Miz is the former TNA Knockouts World Champion. Mia Yim, a.k.a. Jade. Beecham, the HBIC. And here comes American Maid's Pit Bull, someone highly underrated in my opinion.
Ivy Nile.
Might as well be an American Gladiator, Ivy Nile. Oh, and they just, I was about to say, if they did that, WWE, you are fucked up.
Right. Oh, it's Candice LeRae.
And Poison Pixie, of course, out of the Cleveland, Ohio area. Candice LeRae, a former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion alongside impressive Indy Hartwell.
And the Speed Champion, too.
Ugh, that title. Oh, shit. Here comes the fridge. Nia Jax.
Yeah, these two formed an interesting partnership as well.
Yeah, but I've seen enough of Nia Jax in the World Title picture for 1 year.
That's fair.
And we all know Nia Jax gave us a waterfall of people in the Royal Rumble. I would hate to see that happen here tonight. I really hope everyone in this Battle Royal eliminates her first.
Kick out the big person first.
Well, that's multi-field 101. Take out the biggest threat.
Right, I was about to say.
Physical.
Take out the biggest physical threat first and then take it from there.
Exactly. Of course, we're aligning, like you said, with Candice LeRae. And this might be everyone's fan favorite this year.
Oh, it's definitely Vaquer.
The Dark Angel, La Primera, champion of champions, one of one. Now on Monday Night Raw, former NXT Women's North American champion, Stephanie Vaquer. And boy, is she taking WWE by storm since last year.
Right, North American champion, NXT champion.
Former NWA Strong Women's Champion, CMLL Women's World Champion, CMLL Women's World Tag Team Champion, and the first signed superstar from Chile. Of course, already involved in the Royal Rumble, made history at Roadblock against Giulia, and has now been part of WWE for just a little over a year.
Man, what an impressive resume she built up for herself, and she's not even a year in WWE.
Right? Of course, coming up a win as well at Worlds Collide, let's forget, against her former tag team partner.
Oh, here comes Giulia.
Ah, yes, the beautiful madness. The former World of Stardom champion, NWA Strong Women's champion, Stephanie Vaquer's greatest rival, leader of Donald Del Mundo, and the current WWE Women's United States champion, Giulia. If Giulia doesn't go to France, I would be shocked. Talk about the fashion capital of the world. Born British, half Italian, half Japanese, Giulia has trailblazed the world here and looks to become a dominant factor here in WWE.
As long as she remains U.S. champion, I don't see why she would not be able to go to Clash in Paris.
I mean, yeah, just, run her and Chelsea Green.
Oh, I would like that.
If Chelsea Green doesn't win tonight, that should be the match.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Giulia versus Chelsea. Look at WWE.
So let's look at this match, as we talked about two people here primarily, Stephanie Vaquer, Nikki Bella, but you can't rule out people like Giulia, like Natalya, like Kelani Jordan. You can't rule out the statuesque athletes that might be the strongest here, like Lash Legend. And God forbid, we can't rule out the fridge Nia Jax, where it might take all of these women to throw her over the top rope.
It looks like that's what they're doing right now. They're just eyeing down on Nia Jax.
This is the strategy that needs to come into play here. Again, you are eliminated when both your feet hit the floor over the top rope. Bell rings are underway, and the Secret Herb is protecting Chelsea Green. I'm not even sure how to call this one right now.
Well, there goes Tatum.
Well, there you go. Bye, Tatum. That didn't take long.
Nope. There goes Izzy game as well.
You know what would really piss JJ and me off if NXT is eliminated first overall?
Just eliminate all of NXT.
Yeah. And Nia Jax with 2 eliminations so far. Double clothesline was out Kelani Jordan and Jaida Parker.
Well, there comes the...
That's the Kelani Jordan. Big right hand. Kelani lands on the apron, though. Still holds on. And there goes Kelani. Wait. But she's not eliminated, but she's stuck out on an island away from the ring across the announce table.
No, how can she find a way to get back in?
It should be a Kofi Kingston. Nice sidestep there by Lola Vice. Good luck, Kelani Jordan. I don't know if even you can make that jump to the apron. And Kelani right now figuring out what the hell she needs to do. Yeah, meanwhile, of course, talking about some of the great women in this ring. Natalya, 43 years of age, been involved in this business for 25 years, training all newcomers and veterans, women and male, in the Heart Dungeon 2.0, a former WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. All right. And if you have not touched the floor, incredible core strength by Kelani Jordan.
You see that now. Flip yourself back in there, girl.
What a performance by Kelani there. And right now, Kelani, swinging a miss by Lola Vice. Nice back elbow strike off the cartwheel and a kip up.
Showing off that gymnastic background of hers.
There's a reason why Kelani Jordan and So Ruka is one of my favorite dynamics to see in NXT.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that match, and I have yet to see it.
Go see it. Last year at a Heat Wave, you can find on the WWE Network. Speaking of which, folks, we'll be covering NXT Heat Wave, a Love Forbidden Door next month. Stay tuned for more on that. Face first goes Lash Legend right now, squared up with the fridge. Nia Jax out to DJ, rock and roll. Let's go following, folks. We got Nikki Bella, of course, braced up right now against the Secret Hervis. Piper Niven and Alba Fire protecting Chelsea Green, as they should, damn it. Protect America! What? Anyway, BFAB, I didn't say anything. Ivy Nile right now with Stephanie Vaquer. Natalya with Lola Vice, very familiar territory there with those two. And Nikki Bella right now with Zelina Vega. And of course, Stephanie Vaquer right now squared up with Ivy Nile. Iva hoisting up Stephanie Vaquer up in the top rope. So far, we've only had 2 eliminations here, Ash.
Yep. Oh,
whoa! And Stephanie Vaquer hanging Ivy Nile up and over with the armbar and the head
Giulia with the assist.
And there goes Ivy Nile. Don't turn your back, though, on anyone here. Now, Nikki Bella going to prove a point in this generation of WWE against Giulia right now. Now,
Natalya. Now.
Natalya, by the way, has not held a singles title since 2017 in WWE.
Wow, it's been that long?
For a singles championship. Yeah, singles world championship. Oh, baby, give me this. Standing about Karen and Giulia, let's renew pleasantries. Oh, they know the handout here. Of course, these two define each other in Japan and Corrigan Hall, so we're going to miss. Okay, now I like this. And Giulia and Stephanie picking up where they left off. Of course, both went on opposite brands now, Ash.
Yeah, there's no friends in Battle Royal.
Damn fucking right. Oh, man. These two.
Each other.
I'm not sure who's more crazier here, Stephanie or Giulia.
I'd say they're both equally crazy.
I'm digging it. I'm for it.
I'm surprised they haven't knocked each other out with their headbutts.
I mean, Giulia has a very stiff head if you followed her work in Japan. And Nikki Bella now, face first on the knee goes Stephanie. And Nikki hoisting up Stephanie, pausing for the attitude adjustment. Nice snapmare. Oh, no. Someone stop this. No. Oh, damn it. Ash, go ahead.
Boo.
Chelsea Green. Thank you, Chelsea Green. Show some decorum here, Chelsea. Now Chelsea. And Chelsea slamming the tits on Nikki Bella. And double A takedown. Protect her, Hermes. Security. And right now, Chelsea Green and Alba Fire hoisting up Nikki Bella. And wait a minute, what? And now, whoa, wait, what the hell?
Suplex.
Natalya and Maxxine Dupri working together there with Nikki Bella. Taking over Chelsea Green and her Secret Hermits in a trio suplex. And, oh, good grief. A reverse caterpillar. And Maxxine elbow drop to Alba Fire. Of course, Maxxine wanted to lead a tag team with Natalya.
Trying to get Natalya to do it?
What the fuck? that was the slowest reverse cap I've ever seen. Kelani Jordan now with Natalya. Rolling lariat by Natalya with wins in Bloodsport, NWA, and reality wrestling, might I add. Natalya about to power Kelani Jordan up and over. Oh, look from behind! Jaida Parker eliminates Natalya! Sorry, JJ. Well, so much for Natalya. Oh, Maxxine is furious. Yeah, Parker right now, overhead shot. Jaida Parker, though, is a bitch you don't want to mess with, as we've seen. A girl with a mean attitude here. Jaida right now hoisting up Maxxine Dupri up on the shoulders. Landing on the apron. Nice high kick by Maxxine.
Right? And there goes Candice.
Eliminates Maxxine Dupri. And now, Jaida Parker trying to make a Candice LeRae. Oh.
Maxxine LeRae making the save for herself there.
It's like Jordan, though. NXT working together. Irish whip. Hit time. Candice LeRae eliminated. And right now, we got Jaida Parker, Kelani Jordan. I believe the only one's left for NXT. Or no, Lola Vice is in there also. Excuse me. Irish whip right now. I feel like Nia Jax, the Fridge, is going to kill Candice LeRae with the fact she's still not in this. Unfortunately, oh, fucking hell. It's stereo twerking by Meacham and BFAP. Twerking in wrestling should not exist. Jaida Parker snapping over. Jaida Parker eliminated. 2-on-1, Ash there. Well, there goes Jaida Parker. Back to NXT. Bye, see ya. And And now Kelani Jordan and Lola Vice, the only two left for NXT, I believe.
Oh,
Nia Jax.
never mind. I thought she got. Oh, there's Candice.
Candice, who was eliminated. Desmond and Kelani Jordan from behind. You know, I can understand why JJ does not like Candice LeRae. Now, Lash Legend. Oh, man, what a boot to the fridge. Closing that door shut. That's a statement right there. Oh, shit. Nia Jax rolled the outside underneath the bottom rope. That's some foreshadowing, folks.
Meanwhile, Giulia and Zelina are battling on the apron.
Flipping the code red. Now, Giulia. Looking to hook up Zelina. Backslide. Interesting. Wrist control. Bang! I'm going to touch it. Giulia Vega still holding on, though, on the apron. And right now, Giulia and Zelina, dangerous territory. This is bad. And Zelina hoisted up. Hammer and lot. Zelina out the back door. Push Giulia into the ring post. Both these women need to get back inside the ring.
Giulia's able to keep her balance. And
Giulia got eliminated by the former Women's United States Champion Zelina Vega. Revenge there for her.
They're gonna rekindle and add fire to their upcoming to the feud, right?
And no kidding, you might get that match in Perez after all, just a different set of two. Now Piper Niven of the Secret Hervis up against B-Fab. B-Fab right now went for the high kick, and Piper Niven eliminates B-Fab. Protecting the Oval Office as she should, damn it. And there goes Meacham.
Oh, how did she get eliminated?
By Alba Fire.
Okay.
Meacham trying to eliminate Chelsea. Alba Fire wants out Meacham. Chelsea Green still alive.
And she's still in the match because she didn't go over the rope. She went through the middle.
Damn right. That was a great defense there by the Secret Hervis protecting the face of America. And right now we got Zelina Vega, Lash Legend in the fridge. Nikki Bella, Chelsea Green. What? I'm just saying what it is. Lola Vice and Piper Niven. And I believe...
you got the facial expression between Zelina Vega and Lash Legend.
Well, this is a mismatch to say the least.
Right?
Hi, Zelina. Lash... What?
Oh, my God.
The headset is trying to take Lash Legend up and over. And Zelina Vega holding on. I guess Zelina Vega crash. She's very resourceful here.
Yeah, is Zelina using that momentum to her advantage?
Up on the shoulders. Over again.
There she goes.
Goodbye. Zelina Vega eliminated by Lash Legend. Chelsea Green snatching Lash Legend back inside the ring. As the field begins to thin out here, Ash. All the Secret Herb is still in play with Chelsea Green. Nikki Bella at the fridge. Lash Legend, Lola Vice, and Vaquer, all that remains. Salute you, Chelsea Green. Salute your American hero.
Oh, there goes all the fire.
I'm a fire eliminated by Nikki Bella. I knew I didn't want to Bella back in WWE. What a cheap shot. And now Nikki Bella. Chelsea Green right now. Hey.
I'm just taunting her.
Hey, you need to go look if you can't touch, right? Oh! Well, Lola Vice has had her fair share. A bad blood with Chelsea Green, though. And Chelsea Green hoisting up Lola Vice. Send her back to Mexico, Chelsea! Up on the shoulders. Oh, look at this show of strength. Uh-oh, look out.
Oh, what a spear.
By Nikki Bella to Chelsea Green. Oh, no! Whoa. Lola Vice and Nikki Bella. Oh, good Lord. How about you don't shake those hips and actually win? Yeah, thank you, Piper. Thanks for reminding us this is a wrestling match.
Not a dance competition, right?
And last time I checked, we're not in freaking Mardi Gras. Right now, Lola Vice looking to be eliminated by Piper Niven. The right hand block. Lola Vice, though, right now being Piper to the punch, quite literally. Adios, Lola Vice. And now Nikki Bella and Vaquer. Oh,
there goes Piper.
Oh, big right hand by Vaquer. Well, at least both my picks are still in. Now Chelsea Green with Vaquer hoisted up. Backdrop suplex. And now, oh, no, not to Chelsea. No, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Ash, don't you.
That's for you, JJ.
Oh my God. Now Nikki Bella hoisting up Chelsea Green into the TKO and Injustice Against America. And Nikki Bella eliminates Chelsea Green.
Sadly.
Damn it! And now the fridge back in play.
Oh, we got the two powerhouses, the legend and the.
I just barked in my mouth, quite literally.
Oh my God, I was not expecting Nia Jax to do that.
That's not cake, that's jello. Hopping around, take over T. Harris. Stop me when I'm telling lies. We're down to 4 women right now. Nikki Bella and the Fridge Nia Jax against Cindy Vaquer and Lash Legend. 4 women left. I'm not sure how this is going to work out with Nikki Bella and Nia Jax.
There goes Nikki.
Eliminated by Lash Legend. I know Caitlyn is furious.
Oh my God, we just got Lash, Nia, and Stephanie.
We're down to 3.
Oh my God.
NXT, SmackDown, and Raw. Stephanie on Raw.
3 brands are being represented. Wow.
Yeah, I'm about to say, that's a unique triple threat.
Right?
The Fridge right now being hoisted up by Lash Legend. Can she do it? And Nia Jax on the apron. Oh, man, still holding on, though. Now Stephanie and Lash with the double team trying to eliminate the Fridge and close her opportunity shut on her World Championship. Trying to pull the plug on her getting back to Tiffany. Big boot. And Nia Jax still holding on. And Stephanie
move there.
And Nia still holding on. Big forearm.
There, down goes Nia.
We're down to Lash Legend and Stephanie Vaquer. I did not think this was going to be my final 2, but I like it. Look at this, Ash.
My God.
I think Lash Legend's on her way up to the main roster. Oh, my God, what a pumpkin.
After this performance, I wouldn't be surprised if she gets called up soon.
Up on the fireman's carry, Lash Legend hoisting up Stephanie Vaquer. And with a counter. Super kick by Stephanie. Will it be Vaquer? Will it be Lash Legend? Will it be Raw? Will it be NXT? Tiger Fang kick. And Stephanie Vaquer is 1 elimination away from punching her ticket to France. Springing off the rope.
Oh my God, what a
body by Lash Legend. Marching around the ring with La Primera. Up on the shoulders. Paxley for a power bomb. Up and over. Whoa. Lash Legend in the head scissors. Lash not eliminated yet. Yeah. And both women on the aprons, though. And Stephanie only onto the bottom rope, though. Both women teetering on the edge of a lightning bolt. And I can't. Oh, no, you what? Devil's kiss on the apron to Lash Legend.
I guess that's what we're going to eliminate.
Wins!
Hey, did I not say on their predictions that she's going to get an elimination with the devil's kiss?
The elimination in this case, Ash. You were correct. La Primera Vaquer is on her way to France. Vaquer has a world championship match at Clash in Paris. Congratulations. You talked about the year Stephanie had already, Ash. It keeps getting better for her.
Right, and there's no stopping. Or at least I hope there's no stopping.
And again, Vaquer on Monday Night Raw, we'll be looking very closely at our main event. Let's go to the replay here. The Fridge and Nia Jax, of course. Nikki Bella eliminated by a big boot by Lash Legend. And then the show of strength by Lash to Nia. Hoisting her up and over the top rope, but to the Fridge's credit, Nia Jax, she did stay perpetually on that apron. Countless assaults and a first drop kick wasn't even enough. It took one more stiff shot by both to close the Fridge shut. Finally out of the World Championship picture. And to your point, Devil's Kiss, Lash Legend face was on the apron, rolled to the outside, released from Stephanie's legs. Stephanie Vaquer wins at Evolution.
They look good, Stephanie and Stephanie.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, ain't that unique? Well, let's go down here with Stephanie McMahon. Let's hear what Stephanie McMahon says to Vaquer. Grab a video, grab performance. Actually, Spanish. Impressive.
Hmm.
All right, Stephanie. I like what you did. Okay. Speaking Spanish, folks. Sorry. This. English is not our first language. That's all right. Wrestling. Wrestling our third language. I'm not going to argue that. You say, thank you. And every woman before me, before us, because of that reason, now we can make history. Wow. Well said. Thank you, every woman made their way. But tonight, Evolution is a big show, biggest experience in her career. I'm very humble. I promise. I promise. I will keep working hard because I promise you will remember my name forever. It's Vaquer.
That we will. That we will.
As Tatum hoists up the 2025 Evolution Battle Royale winner, Vaquer, who now has a guaranteed shot at the world title in Clash in Paris. An incredible, humble moment by a very worthy and deserving competitor, Ash.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how much Vaquer has risen to the occasion here in WWE in such a short period of time.
Right. I'm going to call this right now. She's winning the Women's Battle Royal. The Royal Rumble.
Wow, you're even going that far already.
Yep.
Well, regardless, we got to get to 2026 first, but 2025 tonight belongs to La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer.
Yes, that we did. We got a double-doubles kiss tonight.
As we got another commercial break. Fuck WWE streaming. All right. Well, that being said, love is in the air for women's wrestling. Soon enough, from the culinary fashion capital of the world, we will see a clash under the Eiffel Tower as we head to Paris, a nation known for art, fashion, and culinary excellence in cuisine. Clash in Paris Fun, Sunday, August 31st. Stay tuned for us for our coverage at the Simple Reliable Studios.
Do they have a Waffle House in Paris?
I do not know. I don't know if waffle is the same as French toast. I wonder if they have French fries. I guess we will do so. The Sacre Bleu, I am not France. What are you doing this to me? Anyway, let's continue forward here, folks. Again, congratulations to Stephanie Vaquer, the winner of the 2025 Women's Battle Royale. All right, well, that being said, there's only one match left as we got a commercial break. Let me just once again say thank you all for tuning in with us on this celebration of women's professional wrestling. This is what it's all about, a culmination of the hard work of those before us that got to us where we are now. Fan, worker, announcer, commentator, businesswoman, leading example, mother. Women rule the world and deserve the love and respect, and rightfully so. And tonight we honor those in the squared circle. As, of course, we get ready for the biggest part of the summer. The stars are out tonight. We got Funny Marco, comedian and content creator. Where the hell's Vanessa Hudgens? Get some female representation out here, damn it. Quavo, a multi-platinum rapper, a songwriter, and a record producer. All the stars are out for the weirdest form of music, in my opinion. And at the end of the day, we're all here to celebrate women in wrestling and women's professional wrestling. It was an incredible night. Ash, it all comes down to this.
Yeah.
Do we create more history, or does history repeat? With Stephanie Vaquer waiting, will the genius of the sky beat Mommy once again, or will Mommy prove once and for all why she should and will be always on top?
Yeah, Rhea's trying to make history of her own. Try to finally beat Io Sky, the one person she has yet to defeat.
Yeah, you can only imagine going back all the way to 2018, where we saw Io Shirai beat Rhea Ripley. In 2020, during the pandemic, Io Shirai beat Rhea Ripley again for the NXT Women's Championship was on the line. And that was a huge match of respect. Now you move the clock forward. This year, Mommy was champion, and Io Sky beat Rhea again and won the Women's World Heavyweight Champion. Went on to WrestleMania in that incredible triple threat, pinned Bianca Belair, but still held on to the championship.
I like how they're showing the history of these two. That's really good. This is a really nice video package.
Well, let's do it like this, Ash. How about chasing a shadow and getting out of it? Kazuchika Okada was the shadow for Kenny Omega. And Rhea Ripley right now is in the shadow of Io Sky because Io Sky has been her undoing every time. But Rhea Ripley has done everything possible in WWE and has been a mainstay player when she found her bloody self. The only thing that she hasn't been able to do is beat Io.
That's the one thing on her bucket list that she has yet to accomplish.
Well,
yeah, because Rhea, like in her short one, we talk about like what Stephanie's done in her short amount of time. Look at what Rhea's done in her short of time, like the titles. Yeah, all of her accomplishments, who she's beaten. And there's a reason why she says mommy's always on top.
Of course, right now, the Women's World Champion is on top. Io Sky, who wanted to face Rhea Ripley one more time. And Io knows that she's on top. And right now, no one in this division, according to Io Sky, talk about Io Shirai, someone endorsed by Antonio Inoki through her time in Stardom, winner of the Mae Young Classic, former NXT Women's Champion. And of course, she is bloody crazy. One of the most proficient high flyers to ever do it from the Joshi scene.
Absolutely. Oh my God. When Io takes to the sky, there is no stopping her.
It is one of those things, though, the pride of a champion, Ash. Rhea Ripley says, I'm not giving you this opportunity because I want to. I'm giving you this opportunity because I think you deserve it. Now, Io's returning the favor, but this could be Io's undoing, much like it was for Rhea Ripley. As Rhea said, she's going to stop at nothing to win. Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the 5th time for the Women's World Championship. But remember, Io, you asked for this. Who's going to be on top heading to SummerSlam? This is the main event. And it starts right now. Here we go, Ash. Audience rising to their feet for everyone's favorite mommy, formerly the eradicator of the Judgment Day, former NXT UK, NXT, SmackDown, Raw Women's Champion, always on top, always in your dreams. This is her brutality. There's only one bloody Rhea Ripley. And to your point, Ash, she transcended to the main roster. WrestleMania 37. She beat Asuka that night for the Raw Women's Championship. She was involved in WrestleMania 38 for the Women's Tag Team Championships. 11-14 record in the last 15 matches. 39, she probably had the greatest women's WrestleMania match of all time, beating Charlotte Flair. At WrestleMania 40, she beat the man. But WrestleMania 41, she lost to Io Sky, not being involved in the decision.
Yeah, her and Becky had one hell of a opener.
Yeah, like she almost had a freaking nervous breakdown prior to that. And Becky Lynch was not going in there at 100% medically, dealing with freaking strep throat.
Yeah. Yeah, like kudos for these women. They're toughing it out.
It's one of those things, though, as this industry, you have that person that always has your number, and you will stop at nothing until you finally get the better of them. Can Rhea do that tonight, though, at Evolution?
That's what Rhea Ripley's hoping for. To reclaim what's rightfully hers and to finally beat the one person she has yet to defeat.
Of course, Rhea Ripley, like I said, transcended into this bloody form beyond the blonde, happy rugby player, a shadow of what she actually is. Went, of course, to NXT UK to beat Toni Storm for the inaugural NXT UK Women's Championship. Beat Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. And here comes the one person in WWE she has yet to defeat. Oh boy. Don't call her a footnote. Don't call her a third wheel. Don't go against the tiny, quote unquote, Ash. 132 days as champion, third title defense. Never lost to Rhea Ripley in one-on-one matches. And it still just shocks me, Ash, what happened back in March and what has happened since then for Io Sky particularly.
The sky's the limit for her.
Well, we'll see if Io Sky actually finds a ceiling tonight. Named Bloody Rhea Ripley again. Did she call forth her own undoing?
And if it does she call for a rematch?
Well, to be fair, Rhea Ripley never got that fair one-on-one rematch. She was clamoring for it.
Yeah.
And that's how we got that triple threat at WrestleMania. The Genius of the Sky. One of the greatest wrestlers ever. A daughter of Stardom. Now the current women's World Heavyweight Champion, former Money in the Bank winner, of course, as well. And one of the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. Let's go down to the top for introductions. This is our main event, folks. Oh boy.
I love Io's theme.
Taylor, of course. She's fired up as much as we are, it sounds like, with that.
Right? This is going to be an exciting match.
Rhea Ripley, by the way, folks, 28 years of age, 5'9", 169 pounds, 12 years in the game. She is your mommy. She is Bloody Rhea Ripley. Held that Women's World Championship for 380 days in her first run.
Yeah, once the moment Rhea Ripley found her true self, there was no stopping her.
Io Sky, 35 years of age, 5'1", 121 pounds, 18 years in the game. Former daughter of Stardom, the current Women's World Champion, Io Sky, 133 days. This is our main event, Ash. WWE Evolution. The women's division will be defined by this going forward tonight. And I leave you with the here we go as the bell rings for this incredible occasion.
Oi.
Wait for it, folks. Women's World Heavyweight Champion online. Jessica Carr, the official.
Ooh.
Say it, Ash. Here we go.
Let's fucking go!
Rhea Ripley, Io Sky intertwined in both their WWE careers since NXT, since the Mae Young Classic, their first day in a WWE ring. Right now, calling about tie up here in the early going here.
That was a fun tournament. I loved the Mae Young Classic. It introduced me to a lot of women's wrestlers I was unfamiliar with.
Same, and of course, it also elevated a lot of women's wrestlers I was familiar with, including but not limited to Io Shirai, Michael Santamora, Killer Kelly, Nixon Newell, just to name a few, and of course, Shayna Baszler. And right now, deep Irish whip right here. Good wrist control by Io Sky. Nice headlock takeover. And the head scissors takeover by Mommy. Of course, the tail of the tape here, Mommy will have the strength and reach advantage. Io Sky will have a Giulia on her side. Nice headlock takeover again, though, by the challenger. Champion, though, able to counter. And again, these two know each other so damn well. So with the leg, lateral press.
Really, this is evidenced by these nice sequences we have going through, like these, like counter after counter, reversal after reversal.
Io Sky trying to take Rhea up and over, but the headlock does so. And once again, goes in the cover, hook on the far leg. Gets a 1 count again. And once again, Rhea now. Io lands on her feet, though, escaping the head scissors as only she can. You can tell how much Rhea Ripley and Io Sky treasuring this.
Oh, absolutely.
Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, again, incredible foundation of respect for these two incredible athletes. One out of Japan, one out of Australia. Again, Io Sky said she wanted to face the best in WWE right now, Ash, and there's no argument that Rhea Ripley has been that.
Especially with what she's accomplished in that short amount of time, not just as women's champion, but for what she's done for the Judgment Day as well.
Of course, the Eradicator, to your point. Up and over the top goes Rhea Ripley. Rhea, Laura and Io in. Io up and over Rhea, looking for the sunset flip. And Rhea able to stand on her own 2 feet. Now goozling Io Sky, sending her into the corner.
Using that strength to her advantage, trying to slow down the speedy Io.
And also try to isolate her. And Io realizing as she covers up that she couldn't get out there. A little bit of mind games here by Mommy. Rhea Ripley compared as the modern day China.
Yeah, I can see that. Tall, strong, and powerful, yeah.
Well, let's not forget Rhea Ripley's also the woman that took over Luke Gallows one time in an overhead scoop slam.
That's true, yeah. The strength this woman has is almost unmatched. Can you name anyone in WWE in the women's division right now stronger than Rhea Ripley?
Not that I've seen. Swing and a miss, and then Giulia coming to play as well as that height disadvantage for Io. Now the standing switch, but a misdirection here off of the ropes. Rhea trying to keep up. Io was trying to send her up and over with the Yoshi Tonic and the waist lock.
Io using her speed to her advantage and their gymnastics background too.
Nice shotgun drop kick by Io sending Rhea the outside. Again, the WWE Women's World Championship, folks, can only change hands via pinfall, submission inside the ring. Championship advantage.
Here she goes. Taken to the sky.
Look like Io's looking to fly.
Nice down there by Rhea.
Denied. And now Rhea Ripley looking to punish Io Sky for that mistake. Hoisted up on the shoulders.
She's going to punch her on the apron.
Oh, and Io lands on her feet, though. Mule kick. Back to Ripley. And now Io springing off the side.
Beautiful springboard moonsault there.
Moonsault takes Rhea Ripley down and wipes out both German challenger on the outside. Take a look at the replay here, Ash. This interception into that elbow. And then that beautiful picture-perfect moonsault to your point. Io Sky taking flash he always had, driving like a bomb out Nagasaki sometimes in war games with a trash can on her head.
Right.
Now Rhea doesn't know where Io is.
Oh, nicely done there, Io.
Cover now up the reverse run up. Good combination of 2 counts. Getting Rhea Ripley all sorts of discombobulated here. Double underhook, possibly looking for maybe Angel's wings. And again, going back to the headlock now into the STF.
Crossface there.
And again, though, the strength and size of Rhea, though, hard for Io to keep Rhea down.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to have to outpower Rhea Ripley if she's going to take her down again. Drop toe hold.
Going to the 619, perhaps?
I'm not sure what the area code is in Atlanta, but I think you're on to something.
There it is. Oh, nice. Oh, wow. Oh. Wow, that was quite innovative by Io there.
Yeah, head scissor DDT with the second rope assist on the apron.
Right? It looks like Rhea was trying to catch her, but Io was like, nope.
Yeah, crowning Rhea Ripley on her head. And again, we all said before, Io Sky has Rhea Ripley's number. She's had it every time. Now Rhea on the apron now, along with Io Sky. And Io scouting Rhea up and around. Io, Rhea. And Rhea able to tout it.
They're battling on the apron now.
And dangerous territory here between Disaster and Absolute. Oh!
What a high knee there.
That is a knee underneath the jawline there. And Io sent
the table.
A frequent flyer Mars for Io Sky into the announce table. Good Lord. And right now, we have Ripley recomposed and knowing that she can't win the top of that count out. Just got car starting her 10 count. And we have the champion back inside the ring. Finally got the upper hand for the first time in this match. Hard Irish whip into the barricade. And right now, Rhea unleashing her brutality, using the environment to her advantage, Ash.
Mm-hmm. That's one way to slow down the speedy high flyer.
Sends her face first into the ring, and Rhea Ripley again. That sense of desperation has to come out here eventually for Rhea Ripley.
Doing whatever it takes to finally get the win and her title back.
Io Sky, of course, won her first championship in 2009 as Io Shirai, the TLW World Young Women's Tag Team Championship, and of course went on to be a daughter of Stardom as Io Shirai, winning the High Speed Title, Artist of Stardom, Wonder Stardom, Gods of Stardom, and SWA Undisputed World Women's Championship. One of the longest reigning notorious World of Stardom champions in Stardom history. Covered now by Rhea, and it's a 2 count.
Rhea working on the Io's back is going to come into effect when she hits her with that riptide.
And right now, it's been a full body experience here for Io Sky against Rhea Ripley with the body scissors now, having her way with the champion, controlling and grounding the genius of the Sky. Io Shirai, by the way, held that World of Stardom Championship, the red belt, across 2 incredible runs for a total of 1,014 days. The former leader of Queen's Quest. And right now, Rhea Ripley continuing to assert her will on Io Shirai and working the core right now. Io bending back though, forcing Rhea to break. Oh! With a drop kick aside of the head, single boot cutter flush. Now Rhea in the cover, back press looking at the far leg, gets a 2 count. You see the look in Rhea Ripley's eyes here, Ash.
Yeah, she's trying to figure out what she needs to do.
And right now, Rhea Ripley
also trying to keep cool because she does not want to get too frustrated because it might cost her the title.
And right now, Rhea Ripley might be looking for, looks like a nerve hold on the midsection. Again, working the core of Io Sky, which she uses so much on impact with those moonsaults.
Mm-hmm.
Smart strategy here by Rhea Ripley. We
And
talked here, yeast.
Right, and it also comes into effect for not only for her riptide, but her also that deadly submission hold of hers as well.
The prism lock, to your point. You hear Io screaming out in pain right now as we are squeezing the kidney area of the champion. And big elbow strike. Double over in pain was Io Sky for a moment. Now trying to pick up speed once again. Rhea Ripley unable to keep up with Io. Up and around. DDT! Look at the face of Io.
Right? She even surprised herself there with that DDT.
Both women down out right now. Our main event Evolution. To go to the replay here, Ash. Io Sky taking Rhea up and around, crowning her on her head once again. And stop time for a moment. Freaking face. That's a meme worthy face right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was bloody brilliant. The face you make when you put mommy down underneath you. Crowd chant, this is awesome. This crowd has been absolutely incredible all night, as well as this show has been. Again, this is the WWE Women's Division. This is their Evolution. Main event here for the Women's World Championship. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Now, Rhea Ripley, formerly known as Demi Bennett, a background in rugby, former RCW Women's Champion, 2-time over for a combined 370 days, former NXT UK Women's Champion, NXT Women's Champion, Raw Champion, Women's Tag Team Champion, Women's World Champion.
Oh,
Up and over. No, stop. All right, the midsection.
Right after those strikes, like the consecutive strikes she was doing.
Oh. Buzzsaw kick, shades of Taiji, be proud of that. And now looking to take Rhea Ripley up and over. German suplex. And Ripley rolls the outside.
The outside.
It's like,
But
you see
you
right
might
now,
be capitalizing on this.
and you see right now, Io Sky fired up, looking to follow through here. Looking to fly once again. Going for broke with a crossbody Sita. And Ripley right now tossed back in the ring as Io might be looking to go where she's most comfortable. And now Io to the top rope. Ripley staggered on her feet. Io high. Missile drought kick sends Mommy up and over to the opposite side. And kip up and roll through again. Io right now, full control. Again, she's crazy, and we love her for it. She's the best going right now in WWE with the Women's World Championship. And right now, Rhea Ripley might want to get out of the way.
Oh, look for the Meteora.
Yeah, running double knees in the corner. Covered now by Io Sky to retain. Gets the 2 counts. Oof. Great resourcefulness there by Io Sky, but again, great endurance by Rhea Ripley, Ash. Flying all over the place here. And Io Sky, folks, is the 30th Women's World Heavyweight Champion at 133 days. Of course, this run was initially started by the man Becky Lynch back in 2016.
Oh, she's going for that moonsault now.
Looking to go over the moon, over the sky, but Rhea Ripley from behind. Uh-oh. German super the 11th.
There you go.
And right now, Rhea sidestep though, as Io hit shoulder first in the top turnbuckle. Climbing shot by Rhea Ripley.
All right, she's going to go for the top rope riptide.
And she might be looking to ground the Gina to the sky. Oh, no, and Io, good scan and whiplash effect. Back of the head and neck goes the top turnbuckle. Ripping Rhea down hard. And a flurry of offense snuffed out once again by Io Sky, Ash.
Okay.
Almost feels like a little bit that Io Sky is making Ripley fight from underneath, despite Ripley having the strength and height advantage.
Right?
Double underhook, as you see
Seems
Rhea
like
right
Io's
now.
the one step ahead of Rhea at all times.
Back by jumping again, Io lands on her feet. Shote shaves the Judgement Thunder Liger, another influence to Io Shirai. Big boot, though, turns Io sideways. And Ripley stopping the feet. The face buster to the knee. Went for the lariat. Io Sky again, picking up speed. Up and around. Looking for the DDT. Countered by Rhea this time. Hoisting up Io. And again, Io unable to suplex Io. Excuse me, Rhea unable to suplex Io. Back elbow strike. Both these were in giant position. Up and over.
Oh, they were poison on her.
And again, Rhea dropped on her head. Cover now by Io to return. Take on a 2.
Oh, what a beautiful sequence of right there. Just those reversals and counters right as Io got into that poison rana.
And Crown Mommy once again, the second time in this match we've seen Io drop Rhea on her head. And still not enough. Again, Rhea said she will do anything to win against Io tonight. Again, this is our main event, folks, here. WWE Evolution, Women's World Championship on the line. Capacity crowd on hand in Atlanta, Georgia, in the State Farm Arena. And, of course, the winner of this match has Vaquer waiting for them at Clash in Paris.
Rhea's just grabbing that foot, making sure that Io does not kick to the top rope. Only for Io to get out of the way.
Rhea knows what Io plans to do. And again, Rhea will stop at nothing to make sure that Io's unable to. Again, Io, though, fending off the challenger. Up to the top rope goes Io Sky one more time. And Rhea Ripley taking the base out now.
Oh, is this crucifix powerbomb?
Exactly!
Damn!
And Rhea once again asserting her dominance! Sit down, powerbomb counter! No! Notice, Ash, that Io got the right shoulder up, and Rhea had her leg over the left shoulder.
Yeah.
Poor positioning there might have cost Mommy.
Mm-hmm.
And this match continues. Rhea Ripley in suspension of disbelief right now. Again, is desperation setting in for the challenger, Ash.
She's got to be too careful not to get too frustrated because it might cost her. And the last thing she wants to do is accidentally get herself qualified as well because the title does not change hands that way.
Now
She
Rhea
goes
looking
deep for the riptide and Io spotted. Oh, wow.
The sleeper hold. Rhea backing up Io in the corner, and Io refusing to let go. Finally creates separation for the moment, though. Again, that's the last thing we really need is Io Sky trying to incapacitate her. Oh, big overhead right. That's a big haymaker. Of course, when you play rugby, you know how to be aggressive.
Yeah.
And Rhea Ripley right now looking to finally escape this shadow known as Io Sky and come to light. And once again, the Women's World Champion looking to send the champ for a ride from high. Oh, my Lord. Oh, boy. And Io finding out of that. But again, you see Rhea grasping the head of Io here. The official just got causing for the break. A kick to the hamstring. And you see right now Rhea Ripley arguing with the official. And now Io Sky spring up the top rope.
Oh, no! Oh, shoot.
Jessica Carr just took a springboard. Missile drop kick from Io Sky. We got no ref. Oh, the half up by Mommy. And now Rhea Ripley. Look up Io.
He realizes.
One, two, three, four. There's no official.
It took her a while and she's like, wait, there's no ref. There's no ref.
That was a 7 count. Jessica Carr was wiped out. Rhea had the match won. What do you think Rhea Ripley's picking now? I feel like Ripley's about to go stir crazy. She's about to lose herself here, Ash.
She's gonna go batshit crazy.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley had Io dead to rights and still does. But again, there's no official. Rhea Ripley, though, looks like she's trying to compose herself, continue on the attack, hoisting up Io Sky up on the shoulder. Oh, God.
Playing her with that, the crucifix powerbomb.
Exactly. Almost a running flat Liger bomb. Shades of Megan Bain. Oh, man. And Rhea sending Io up and over into the entrance. Into the WWE Universe. And, I think we just threw the match out the window for now. I think Rhea wants to punish Io.
Absolutely. Trying to wear her down as much as she can until the ref comes up.
Can you imagine Rhea Ripley pursuing you through this type of setting?
Oh, I would not like that. That'd be scary.
Yeah, literally behind her. Oh, my gosh. Just driving Io right now into everything that's not held down. Barricades, guardrails, stair rails, and now literally torturing Io's body. And right now she has Io Sky where she wants her, and she will show no mercy.
No, if she wants to win badly, she's going to do it at all costs.
She said by any means necessary.
Take advantage of the ref being down.
And right now, I'm not sure what Rio's thinking here because Rhea knows she can't win the title out here. The state of mind that Rhea Ripley's in, though, is extremely dangerous here, though, for the champion. Face first of those stage crates. And now Rhea, Ash?
Yeah.
I sense disaster.
For who, Rhea or Io?
I'll tell you here in about 10 seconds. Oh my God.
Rhea's holding on.
Rhea right now holding on for dear life. Rhea looking to powerbomb her down to the concrete. And right now,
just going to save herself there.
Preserving herself, sending Rhea face first to that stage cake and sending Rhea down hard to the floor as Rhea collapsed as well as Io here. And we are far away from the ring, folks.
Yeah, are you going to moonsault off this?
Yeah, well, she is crazy. The genius of the sky. The sky has no height. You know that, Ash.
Uh-oh. Yeah, she's going to go moonsault off that top.
Io Sky high above the WWE Universe.
Oh, my God. Well, it looks like Rhea just like your feet.
Drop. 100 Io Sky dives. Works Rhea herself on the outside. Going for broke. Both women are down. Look at this, Ash.
Right? Oh my God.
Hang time. Free falling. Good Lord. Caution be damn.
Io taken to the skies as she does best.
Yeah, that's the highest height I've ever seen Io go in WWE. Again, Io Sky in control of the challenger as both these men continue to fight on the outside of the WWE Universe. Again, no referee, no chance for a count out here. This is turned to a straight up fight. In pursuit of excellence and greatness, this has turned to nothing but absolute ruthless aggression. And this isn't the last woman standing, Ash, and this isn't no disqualification.
Yeah, this is a regular title match, and Io makes sure that she has to get them to that ring before the ref gets up and counts them both out.
Well, these are finally inside the ring area. I've never seen Rhea Ripley look this vulnerable, though, if I'm being honest, physically and mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Now Io Sky running up. Oh, no!
Right into the ribs.
Into the announce table. And Rhea sending Io Sky back into the ring. But notice Rhea unable to get up to follow through. Damage done earlier.
Yeah.
Again, your chest course concave by Io Sky from 20 feet above her, as well as dropping her head multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like Jessica Carr is still anywhere to be found. And right now, Io Sky back to her feet. Rhea Ripley, though, staggered.
Oh, wow.
Oh, got her hook, got her hook, got her hook.
Oh, nicely done. Ooh. What a power bomb by Io.
Well, her chest wasn't compressed before, I bet her back is.
Right?
This match is insane. This is the most competitive women's match I've seen this year outside WrestleMania. And again, with Rhea Ripley in a vulnerable spot in the drop zone, Ash. Io Sky might look to fly. Jessica Carr finally came back to life.
This is a moonsault. Oh my God. I thought Io had it there. I thought Io had it.
You gotta be kidding me! Rhea Ripley is still alive! What the hell you do now?
What else can Io do?
She died from the highest heights and at the perfect moment over the top moonsault on an already compromised Rhea Ripley chest cavity. That press far leg 2 and 9 cents. Can't believe this is still going on. This is the strongest definition of the evolution of women's wrestling in WWE, Ash.
Man, this is a crazy good match.
It has been absolutely brutal, physical, and incredibly competitive.
Right,
And
everything you could ask for in a women's match, and then some.
And right now, you see Io Sky ascending up to the top rope once again, looking to keep Mommy on the. Wait a minute, what's Io thinking? Well, Mommy actually rolled to the apron this time. The smart move to avoid that moonsault again. I'm not sure if we can take another one here, Ash. You gotta consider Rhea Ripley knows that hope has to be fading for her chances here. She needs to do something bigger. She's going to win finally. Now, trash talking Rhea Ripley is Io Sky. Rhea's still fighting back, trying to attack that core. Oh, and face first goes Io into the ring post. And Ripley now with a sinister smile. Ash, you know what this gives me? This gives me shares of WrestleMania 39. Remember, it was face first. Charlotte Flair face first off the ring post, and Rhea Ripley went up to the top to make the queen bow down to her. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky from the top rope. Uh-oh. And Io trying to fight back, though. And Rhea.
Oh, a Spanish fly.
Both women are down. Io's out. Rhea's out. My brain's about to go out. And the title's still on the line.
Oh my God, it's Naomi.
Oh my damn.
Is she cashing in?
Well, she made a loss against Jade Cargill, but she still does have a chance to leave it a night a winner. Grabbing her midsection. Naomi may cash in. She's coming down the ring. off the briefcase. Oh my God! The bell is rung. This is official. This is now a triple threat. Nobody's cashed in. Nobody's cashed in. Face first, Io Sky. Briefcase as a weapon.
Oh, she's going after. Oh, never mind. She's getting rid of Rhea.
And Rhea driven to first in the ring post. Now
And
Naomi
then
on
she's
the
going with the
corner.
moonsault of her own.
Split leg moonsault. Split leg moonsault. Counter.
Oh my God, Naomi just became champion.
No, he's the Women's World Champion. Naomi's the new WWE Women's World Champion.
I was not expecting that.
What the fuck? Naomi was focused not on Jade Cargill. Proceed with caution. Naomi was focused on the main event. Naomi has exceeded her evolution. Naomi has cashed in. And she's now the face of Monday Night Raw.
So at Clash of Champions, we're gonna get Stephanie and Naomi.
I assume so. Naomi has finally arrived. Naomi is the new Women's World Champion. History made at Evolution. The Spanish Fly that neutralized both. And Naomi finally, Ash, hit the green light on the cash-in.
Yeah, she saw an opportune time and she took advantage of it.
And no kidding. Again,
And now she's on a different brand than Jade, so she does not have to worry about Jade no more.
Well, I think it's safe to say the Jade Cargill feud is over, to your point. And again, split leg moonsault, getting rid of Rhea Ripley. Naomi just pinned Io Sky. Naomi is the new Women's World Champion. That crazy, sadistic bitch finally did something right in her career. Naomi is the new Women's World Champion. Proceed with caution. Caution, caution. Because Naomi now is unhinged as the face of the Monday Night Raw Women's Division. Boy, have things changed for Monday Night Raw, Ash.
Right? We got
After a delicious battle with Jade Cargill in defeat and the war we saw where Io Sky and Rhea Ripley tried to literally destroy each other. It was a long time coming for Naomi to reach her peak here tonight at Evolution as the new Women's World Champion.
This is going to add much needed change to the Raw Women's Championship title picture.
As we continue to prove how the WWE and women's wrestling continues to evolve too. And that's it, folks. That has been, once again, another showcase of what has truly been an evolution. For Ash, I'm Noah Foster as we conclude this insane week of the Super Liable Studios, saying thank you all for tuning in once again to our Watch Along coverage for everything this insane fucking weekend. Naomi, the new face of Monday Night Raw, has cashed in as the new Women's World Champion. Well, Ash, before we bid everybody a fine adieu, as a fan of women's wrestling, again, it was an absolute joy engaging and calling this with you. Final thoughts on this show and women's wrestling in general, and where can the people find you?
What a progression women's wrestling has made from the bra and panties matches from the 90s to the Ruthless Aggression era to the Divas era to now. This is what I could ask for in this pay-per-view. It was a solid night of matches. It was a good celebration and representation of the past, the future, here in the present.
Well said, my friend. Well, that being said, G1 Climax is next weekend. So when I see you for, of course, that, keep me posted. And also, of course, some verses that has stayed with the dating, folks. One last time, again, to everybody, male, female, casual, hardcore, first comer, continue following the chat. thank you all once again for tuning in as what's been an incredible professional wrestling weekend overall. Again, don't be tribalistic. Don't be a dickhead. There are no winners. There are no losers. There are no betters. Just professional wrestling progression across the board for men and especially women. And tonight, WWE proved that for the women at Evolution. So that being said, Ash, again, folks, don't be a dickhead. Subscribe today. Follow Dash on the X and follow her at Barry for Wrestling. I'm sure there's going to be more content to come regarding the G1 Climax as well as New Japan AEW. And I'm sure you would love to get more of her takes on women's wrestling. So again, she's our Canadian friend. She can be your Canadian friend too. Follow her on the social medias as you see again. Ash, again, we truly appreciate you. And on behalf of Survivor Studios and on behalf of just my friendship and fandom as an advocate for women's wrestling, I thank you for joining me on this fun watch-along tonight for this all-women's showcase. I hope we do this again real soon for something like this.
Right. I would love that.
And again, folks, you can find me on the social medias predicting, booking, calling matches, shenanigans, reviews, in and out of YouTube and on the X, and then Foster 1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out to my entire ATW fam. But that being said, we have officially ended this incredible all-in weekend for all things professional wrestling. So thank you all for tuning in to anything or everything once again. That being said, it is Sunday night. I know everyone's ready to go to bed because work, school, responsibilities, leading by example, continues for us all in the morning. So until next time, on behalf of the entire Simple Reliable Studios, thank you for Ash, for everybody. Make a positive impact in life. Respect women, respect women's wrestling, respect women professional wrestling and women in wrestling. Damn it. And have a good night. This has been WWE's Evolution and Naomi's Ascension as the new Women's World Heavyweight Champion. What an evolution. Have a good night, folks. And Ash, thank you once again.
You're welcome. Good night, everyone.